If you've ever thanked your lucky stars for the NFL, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Today is going to be a special edition Pre-Market Playbook. It is a Victory Monday edition for November 17th, 2025. And the Chicago Bears are in first place in the NFC North. It's hard to say that I've ever really been in a better mood than I am today on this show. But that's where we're at here. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am. We got like 60 degrees, almost 70 degrees on Friday and Saturday. Got the car cleaned up, watched a bunch of football, ate some great food, saw family and friends. What a weekend. And here we are celebrating a Victory Monday together. Now, we do have some news. We got a 13F filing, got a bunch of news to update you from. We've got another start to probably going to be a hectic week here. We got NVIDIA earnings this week. Lots of stuff going on. Can't wait to kick it off. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Monday edition for November 17th, 2025, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that y'all had a weekend as good as mine because, man, oh man, I found myself smiling quite a bit as I stepped away from the online fighting and into the real world, and it was absolutely glorious. Now, we are back to a market, and as just mentioned, we are going to have a crazy week ahead, but we're going to make it fun and we're going to make it profitable, and it's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here on this Monday. Sun-Kissed Yogi is first here today. Good morning, Sun-Kissed Yogi. I hope that you had a wonderful yoga-filled weekend, and welcome back. Time to kick off a new week. Kate Kilborn, I can't remember if that's Corey or what your other name was, but good morning. Welcome back. Austin, good morning. Welcome back. Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. Azrar, it's good to see you. Graf, good to see you. Brian, good to see you. Brian says the markets are now pricing in a 40% chance of a December rate cut. I actually think it's 44%, but it is lower than when we first looked at it. That's important. We'll see if that changes or how that changes. Down from a coin flip last week. Remember, I think right when it first came out, it was 60 something percent. Maybe that was for a pause. Anyway, it's changing a little bit, but it's right near that mid mark. We'll see if that changes again. Mighty Soldiers, Andy. We are with royalty here today. Good morning, Mighty Soldiers. I hope you and your family had a wonderful weekend. I did see that you sent me a DM, but I didn't get to it over the weekend. I'll get to that here today. Good to have you back, boss. Let me know what's on your watch list today or what you're trading. Good to see you, man. We should have you back, too. Just throwing that out there. Harvey, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Billy, good morning. Welcome back. We're definitely going to cover ZYME. No question about it. Whis, good morning. Welcome back. Cam, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Glass half full. Who brought the coffee and donuts? Is it D-Nut or is it Duncan? You'll have to let me know. No donuts for me, though. New week. We start it clean. We don't have any cheat days until we get to the weekend. So no more donuts for me. But I'm working on coffee, so we're doing good. Big Bees, good morning. Welcome back. Your Steelers at my Bears next weekend. Are we going to be friends still? We'll see. Good morning, Day Trader. Welcome back. Hit that like early, folks. Listen to Day Trader here. The earlier we hit the like, the more it exploits the YouTube algorithm, the more people find our amazing, positive, and uplifting community. And the butterfly effect of that is hopefully more money for everybody. So do as Day Trader says here and smash that like up early. Appreciate you. Producers locked in and ready to go. Big Bear Hug, welcome back. Bill, good to see you again. Welcome back. Captain Cloudy, welcome back. Cam and Big Dave, welcome back. Matthew, good morning. Welcome back. Da Bears, that's right, buddy. That's right. Archangel, good morning. Welcome back. Jay Harris, good morning. Welcome back. Bernhard, good morning. Brent, good morning. Robot to Trade, good morning. Alvin and Candy, good morning. Lilith, yes, Lilith, good morning. Yasin, how you doing today, buddy? How are you doing today? Yasin, let's slow down on the Super Bowl shuffle. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards here, but happy Monday, Yassine. Welcome back, and it's good to see you as always. James, good morning. Welcome back. Unpopular Truth, good morning. Neville and JJ, good morning. Peter, I sent you an email. You should be good to go. Good morning. Welcome back. I hope you had a good weekend. Darkside Hemi, good morning. Empyrean, it's great to see you again as well. Samir, welcome back. Durkus, welcome back. I can't myjngroup.com. Good morning. Okay. Alexander, good morning. Jay, good morning. Brandy, welcome back. Loud Rover, good morning. Welcome back. Neferi, good morning. Welcome back. Blessed Trader, good morning. Welcome back. Zabeth, good morning. Ryan Milligan, welcome back. It's good to see you. C Boogie, likewise, good to see you again as well. Welcome back. Ryan Summerall, I like the Ryans here. Good names here. Good morning. Kimo Sabi, good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday indeed. Uncle Dracula, love it. Good morning. Angelito, welcome back. Tara, good morning. Welcome back. Tyler, good morning. All right, let's go ahead and do our stock market today. Futures flattish ahead of Monday's open here. S&P futures up 0.04%. The Dow futures down 0.01%, basically unchanged. And the NASDAQ futures higher by 0.09%, so pretty much unchanged across the board. Let's go ahead and take a look at some cues from last session here. Sectors of the S&P 500 were mostly negative on Friday, with materials, financials, and communication services recording the biggest losses. Even as the full resumption of the post-shutdown economic data remains uncertain, investors will receive the long-awaited September jobs report on Thursday, and that is according to the BLS website. So we're starting to get some of that data flowing again here. This delayed report offers a crucial snapshot of the labor market, especially as recent caution from Fed officials has cast doubt on a rate cut next month. Shout out to Brian for highlighting that here early. Additionally, investors await NVIDIA's earnings results, which is scheduled for release this week on Wednesday after the market closes. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.12%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.60%. Now, we have several stocks in focus today, and the big one is Google. That's ticker GOOG or GOOGL, depending on which class of shares you trade. Shares rose 5.39% in the pre-market on Monday after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway unveiled a new stake worth $4.34 billion of the Class A shares in the company on Friday. This was after the closing bell. So Google getting a huge pop here. Warren taking a stake. Remember, Warren has said in the past they were disappointed that they didn't buy more Google in the past. Well, here we go, buying Google here. Unclear if it's actually Warren or somebody else at Berkshire, but nonetheless, huge stake there. Google trading higher here today. Congrats to all of the Google long holders. Dell is our second stock on the list. This ticker DELL. They tumbled 4.04% after Morgan Stanley downgraded it to underweight from overweight on Monday, cutting its price target from 144 to 110. That's according to investing.com. I haven't got a chance to pour through that report, but from what I understand, they see, I guess, a little bit of slowness on the hardware side. Still have to go through that and pick out some more details. I think that might mean something for trades going forward. But just know, Dell down today on a Morgan Stanley downgrade. Boeing is the next stock on the list. That's ticker BA. That was up 0.3 as Emirates placed its third order for the 777X airplanes to fuel future expansion and meet growth travel demand. So Boeing here up slightly in the pre-market. Palantir is our next stock, ticker PLTR. That advanced 0.73% as it partnered with Multiverse to launch new FDP-specific apprenticeship programs designed to upskill NHS staff on the Palantir-supplied federated data platform. Oh, that was a mouthful. It aims to leverage AI and data skills to enhance patient care and operational efficiency. So Palantir, more news there, more gains in the pre-market. Last stock on our list here is going to be Helmerich and Payne. Ticker HP. It fell 0.47% as analysts expect it to report earnings of 25 cents per share on revenue of $973.68 million after the close today. All right, let's start with the SPY chart now. We actually have some chart review to do today. We're going to do it more than just the SPY. I have some individual names that I just mentioned there that we're definitely going to review. We'll do that here in a sec, but we're going to start with the SPY. Now, this is kind of crucial. So here we are today. We're currently sitting at 671.30 in the pre-market. The good news, this is sitting right above the 50-day moving average. So that candle on Friday looking somewhat similar to the candle the previous Friday, although not as bullish, didn't close near the top like it did the previous Friday. But nonetheless, we dipped below the 50, peaked below it, if you will, and then closed back above it. So as we fast forward to today, this absolutely is going to be a key level here today. I've got it at 668.89. You want to call it 669, that would be fine. But this key level here, look like we might test that if we get any more weakness here, and S&P futures are actually moving lower since I just took a look at them. If we continue to move down, would definitely watch for what type of action we have in the SPY between 668 and 669. We might sit there for a little bit and then break down or maybe even bounce. That actually might make for a short-term trade. We'll see. The other thing that we would note here, let me actually zoom in and move the chart around to make it a little bit easier. We are within this sideways range. I know we're above the 50 here, but we're still within this sideways area. That was 673 on the upside and 667.5 on the downside. This was a previous area where we chopped around a little bit. Well, we're back there now. So these are also key levels. 673 to the upside would be one of them. If we take a look inside, let me go inside here and refresh. If we take a look inside, you can actually see what's going on here. You can see that we were actually just beneath the 20-day in the pre-market, maybe less than $1 beneath the 20-day. And then we really couldn't, we broke down a little bit, and it looks like we're taking another leg down here. So again, we'll see if we get any type of bounce or test at these 667 levels. That's what I got here for the SPY. We are also, I guess it's worth noting here, we're also still beneath that downtrend line that started to originate on at the end of October. I have it here on the chart as October 30th. I guess if you wanted to go back a little bit, it could be October 29th. But nonetheless, we're still under that downtrend, and we're right beneath the up channel or the upward channel that we've been in. So can we recapture and get back into that? We shall see. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some insights from analysts before we get to the other charts here. No guests today, so we're going to be looking at plenty of charts, finding out different levels, and having a trade plan going in. But let's take a look at some insights from analysts first here. Ryan Dietrich presented a data-driven, optimistic market view that prioritizes strong fundamentals over temporary political volatility. Probably a smart move. He highlights robust S&P 500 earnings forecast for the third quarter, noting projected year-over-year growth of 13.1%. Dietrich specifically points to global strength as companies earning over 50% of their revenue outside the U.S. are expected to see even higher 13.5% growth. He uses this to counter the negative sentiment, advising, quote, "The next time someone tells you how bad the global economy is, show them this. And if this is something that you would actually like to do, I'll go ahead and throw the link to this story in the chat. It will also have links to the tweet threads and the infographics that are provided here." He goes on to say here that S&P 500 Q3 year-over-year earnings are up 13.1% in the fourth quarter in a row, up double digits. The fourth quarter in a row, up double digits, excuse me. But if they get to above 50% of their revenue from outside the United States, this actually jumps to 13.5%. So there you go. Now, Dietrich also downplayed the impact of the political turmoil, such as the government shutdown. He notes that markets gaining during a shutdown is actually quite normal. And we did a really good job outlining some of those statistics when this whole thing first started. I know there's a lot of hoopla about this being the longest one ever, blah, blah, blah. Ryan here, again, great name, Ryan here, telling you that that's probably much ado about nothing. Citing historical data, he emphasizes that the real trend is positive. Quote, "Once things open back up, stocks do pretty well," end quote. His analysis shows the S&P 500 is higher 19 out of 22 times 1 year after a shutdown, with an average gain of 12.7%. Again, graphics in there, infographics and tweets also in there. He gives you a great chart here. I think the key takeaway from this chart is that although it shows the two different sides of the political aisle, tends not to matter. doesn't really matter which sides are involved or which sides get blame or any of that. Market, for the most part, ends up going higher, and by a healthy amount too. It's not insignificant. Now, let's take a look at some upcoming economic events. We talked about the biggest event this week likely being the NVIDIA earnings. In fact, I think I've got an earnings calendar for you. Here we go. This is what we're looking at here this week. NVIDIA, Palo Alto Networks, those are going to be your two really big reports on Wednesday after hours. Looks like on Tuesday, tomorrow, we do have PDD Holdings, Pinduoduo, Medtronic, Home Depot, Klarna, Baidu, and Futu. All of those have been some pretty big traders. And then on Wednesday morning, we have TJX, Lowe's, Williams-Sonoma, and Target. So we actually do have some pretty big reports. Thursday morning before the open, we have Walmart. That'll be coming right on the back of the NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday evening. And then for all of you that are still following this, on Thursday after hours, we get the Webull report. We also get Copart there. So we'll see if we get any indication on how car parts are doing as a theme. Anyway, some pretty big earnings reports, but we also have some economic events this week. On Monday, November's Empire State Manufacturing Survey data will be released at 8:30 in the morning. Federal Reserve Vice Chair Philip Jefferson will speak at 9. Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari will speak at 1. And Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller will speak at 3:30, all times Eastern. On Tuesday, October's import price index scheduled at 8:30 a.m. and industrial production and capacity utilization data scheduled for 9:15. That can be impacted despite the government reopening. That's according to the BLS website. November's Home Builder Confidence Index and August's businesses inventories data will be out by 10, and Federal Reserve Governor Michael Barr will speak at 10:30. On Wednesday, November's Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Survey data, October's housing starts and building permits data, and August's U.S. trade deficit will be released by 8:30 a.m. The minutes for the Fed's October FOMC meeting will be out by 2. On Thursday, September's U.S. employment report, unemployment rate, hourly wages, and initial jobless claims for the last week will be out by 8:30. October's existing home sales and U.S. leading economic indicators are likely to be released by 10. Fed Governor Lisa Cook will speak at 11. Fed President Austin Goolsbee at 1:40, and Philadelphia Fed President Anna Paulson at 6:45. On Friday, wrapping up the week here, we've got Federal Reserve Governor Michael Barr at 8:30, Vice Chair Philip Jefferson at 8:45, and Dallas Fed President Lori Logan at 9. November's S&P Flash U.S. Services Manufacturing PMI will also be out by 9:45, and November's final consumer sentiment data will be released by 10. So we have a big week here of data and things going on. Now, let's first start here with Warren Buffett and Alphabet. We'll talk about Warren's 13Fs, then we'll go take a look at the chart here. Legendary investor Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway unveiled their latest transactions with a 13F filing showing their third quarter moves. Here's a look at the new positions. Remember, this is as of September 30th. It's a little bit delayed here. In the third quarter, Berkshire took only one new position, and that was Alphabet. It was the Class A shares, so GOOGL. It bought 17.846 million shares. In the third quarter, Berkshire Hathaway exited its position on D.R. Horton, ticker DHI. This is one of the home builders here. We're kind of waiting out that theme to kind of dovetail with lower interest rates. Interesting that Berkshire here exiting that position, a stock it had purchased in the second quarter. Probably a read-through on that. I'll get you an update when I talk to my real estate expert, which I have not done yet. Along with the new positions disclosed in the latest 13F, Berkshire revealed changes to its existing stock positions. Here are some of the stocks with the largest increases in the third quarter, and we ranked them in percentage change in shares. Chubb Limited, that's ticker CB, that was up 16%. Domino's Pizza, ticker DPZ, that's up 13%. Sirius XM Holdings, that's up 4%. And Lamar Advertising, ticker LAMR, that was up 3%. These are the increases in ownership, by the way, not the percent change of the actual stock itself. Lamar was previously a new position unveiled by Berkshire in the second quarter. Domino's Pizza has been one of the newer stock picks from Berkshire with multiple quarters of increases. Now, here are some stocks with the largest decreases in the second quarter, ranked by percentage change in shares. VeriSign comes in first. That's ticker VRSN. That was down 32%. Now, this does play into the theme that I'm looking for small caps in for the identification, verification, and authentication as a theme. I'll think about this a little bit more and read through this a little bit more too, but that's something to note, at least for myself right now. Apple minus 15%. Now, as you're going to see, Apple's still the fund's top holding coming up, so I wouldn't get too excited, if you will, about that. Apple has been really strong. In fact, one of the stronger of the Mag 7 names, the safety blanket, if you will. So I could see them ringing the register a little bit on that. Bank of America down 6%, DaVita down 5%, and Nucor down 3%. Berkshire sold more Apple shares in the third quarter, which reduced its stake to a whopping 238,212,000 shares. The conglomerate has reduced its stake in the tech giant in recent years, but it still remains its largest position at 23%. American Express comes in second at 19%, Bank of America at 11%, Coca-Cola at 9%, Chevron at 7.1%, Occidental at 4.8%, I think that the ampersand 4.7, excuse me, and Moody's at 4.4%, Chubb at 3.3%, Kraft Heinz at 3.2%, and Alphabet, the new position, at 1.6%. Okay, let's go back to Pro and start with the Google chart. I know he bought GOOGL, but just keeping in step with the theme of the show here, I'm actually going to cover GOOG. This is the one we seem to trade more often than GOOGL. We take a quick peek at this. The charts are basically the same, so I really don't think we're losing anything by going over GOOG instead. But here we are. Google's been extremely strong. We've watched, this has actually been one of the really good trades from the Liberation Day unwind as well, up 100% from that spot. Recently, it took another leg up as it really kind of broke through this 250 to 255 area. Looks like we almost tested 300. The pullback to the 20 here, and now the news of the 13F. I'll be honest with you, folks. It looks like we are going to challenge some of these all-time highs here pretty soon. 300 seems within reach here on Google. So congrats to anyone that was swinging this over the weekend or anyone that's in a long term here. Google continues to get it done. Looks like they're going to get the Buffett bump here today. So that chart looking pretty good. All right. I think that was, we're going to come back to some of those other stocks here in a sec. I want to roll through Ackman's 13F. This is, to me, is rather entertaining. Ackman cut Alphabet stake. Boy, I wish they could have just coordinated with each other. They could have saved time and fees, and Ackman could have sold directly to Warren. That would have been fun. The Pershing Square Capital Management hedge fund ran by Bill Ackman made several small changes in the third quarter. Here's a look at some of those. The changes to the position, Alphabet reduced by 10%. Restaurant Brands, ticker QSR, that was down by less than 1%, so a little bit of a change there. Same with Brookfield and same with Uber. Now, it's interesting here because Uber and Brookfield still the top two holdings of this fund, but the fund cut its stake in Alphabet by 10%, lowering the stake to 4.8 million shares. The fund previously raised its stake in the Class A shares in the second quarter. The lowered stake comes as the 13F filing on Friday unveiled a new position by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. I'm moderately amused by stuff like that. I don't know what to tell you. The fund also sold small positions of its holdings in 3 other companies, each move totaling less than 1% of the stake, fairly negligible there. The top holding here for Ackman's fund, Uber, Brookfield, Howard Hughes Holding, which remember they tried to turn into the new Berkshire, if you will, Alphabet, Restaurant Brands, Amazon, Alphabet Class A, they've got both, Chipotle, ticker CMG, Hilton Worldwide, and Seaport Entertainment. Okay, next one here is going to be Druckenmiller's. Now, Druckenmiller opened a new position in Amazon, closes Microsoft. So let's take a look at this. Stanley Druckenmiller's Duquesne family office filed its third quarter 13F on Friday and revealed a dynamic and actively managed portfolio, reducing the firm's reputation for agile and opportunity-driven asset allocation. The filing, which shows holdings as of September 30th, here are some of the new positions. Amazon, bought 437,000 shares. Cleveland Cliffs bought 2.7 million shares of ticker CLF. Alphabet's Class A shares, that's GOOGL, bought 102,000. Meta bought 76,000, and StubHub bought 4.2 million. Didn't we see StubHub get absolutely crushed? Yeah, we did. Now that's trading up here a little bit in the pre-market. This is above the 1291 low that we put in on Friday. Stock is 15 here in the pre-market. Man, StubHub really got hit there. That's an interesting one. The firm closed some of its positions, closed Microsoft, which obviously has been on a huge run, closed Eli Lilly, which has also been on a huge run, closed VKTX, which surprisingly and kind of under the radar traded back up into the 40 handle from being in a 20 handle. AppLovin, show favorite AppLovin, ticker APP, sold 76,000 of those shares. That stock actually dropping below 560 here in the pre-market. And then Joby Aviation sold 31,500 shares of Joby. Remember, those eVTOL stocks, they've also been pretty popular here. Joby's kind of been sideways for some time. The firm's top 5 holdings are Natera, ticker NTRA, Insmed, which is ticker INSM, Teva Pharmaceuticals, which is ticker TEVA, Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, and Woodward, ticker WWD. Duquesne's aggressive repositioning in the third quarter reaffirms its reputation for nimble action and readiness to capture growth opportunities, especially in healthcare and technology. So keep that under your hat. Now, before we jump into the next story here, I did want to cover one more chart. Actually, we'll do 2 more charts here real quick. How much time do I have? Oh, I'm doing fine on time. We're going to do 2 more charts here. These are not part of the 13Fs that we just talked about, but these are charts that we've looked at quite frequently recently, and I just want to review them. First, we're going to start with Netflix. Netflix has gone through its split, folks. So it's no longer $1,100. It's in fact $110 here today, but the chart, oh, it doesn't look good. And this is where I want to get the group's opinion here. We sold off. We were trading sideways here. We sold off. It looked like we were going to try and find some support at the 200. We dipped beneath it, tested going back above it, and then finally did move back above it. So this entire action here, generally pretty bullish, but now we traded up towards the 50, couldn't actually test it, got close, but couldn't test it. Now, since then, obviously we had the big down day here in Netflix on Friday. That coughed up the 200, also coughed up the 20, and in here today, down another 0.3 in the pre-market. So the reason I wanted to review this, we talked about Netflix being a possible long here, maybe even closing this gap up towards 124 now. That used to be about 1250, and then maybe making a run at some new highs. We've talked about some of the new content that's expected here in the fourth quarter, the success of the content that they already have on the platform. I want to know from the group here, what do you think on Netflix? Is this still a long? Or do we actually look like we might break this recent low here, this down at about, what's the actual low of this candle? 107.34, so 107 here. If we break 107 to the downside, do we maybe trade down towards $97? Do we give up 100, that round 100 level? Curious to hear what the thoughts are here on Netflix. This has been a great trade for a lot of folks here. I want to know where you think the next spot is. Again, if I see another recapture here, if the market really kind of firms up, if the bloodbath in crypto really kind of dies down, and at the same time, Netflix starts to curl back up, reclaim the 20 and the 200, especially if it does so on volume, I feel pretty good about that. Right now, RSI kind of in no man's land right here in the middle at about 42. So an interesting spot for Netflix. Definitely want to hear your opinion on potential trades for Netflix. The other stock I want to take a look at is Apple. So here, Robert saying Netflix to 1,000. So I think what you mean is 100 with the split adjusted price. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it looks like you are calling for more downside. I tell you what, the chart sure looks like that. You're probably right that. Wasn't Netflix at 1,100? Yes, did a 10-for-1 split though. So remember, it's going to have much more shares out there, which should make trading a little bit more heavy. And obviously a reduced price now. And you know what, folks? Give me 1 sec. Let me blow my nose so I don't keep sniffling here for you. Just give me 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. Now, let's continue here with the Apple chart review. This has been the safe haven for some of these Mag 7 stocks. You can see the move that this has made. God, it feels like forever ago we were talking about the 215 breakout, which ended up being a great trade. I actually exited that one too early. Did not see it coming all the way up to this trend line here with the speed that it did, but nonetheless, here we are. Now we're actually above the trend line. Stocks down 1.13% in the pre-market. If we take a look at this, this is what it looks like. So we've basically broke through this trend line. We kind of rode it. Then it looked like we were trying to take off here, but now we're rolling back over and testing it. So part of me wonders if this is going to give way and if we're going to probe some of these areas lower. The other thing that I saw this morning, I actually did not see this over the weekend, but I did see this on CNBC this morning. Apparently, there's a report that Apple is prepping for the secession of Tim Cook. And I think that the story, I don't have it in front of me, so pardon me if I'm getting some of these details wrong, but I think the story said that that could happen sometime in 2026. Now, we've talked a lot about Tim Cook, kind of a polarizing guy here. Apple is up, I think, like 2,000% or something under his leadership. So he's done a great job with the stock price. But as everyone mentions all of the time, innovation is lacking. And there have been a couple of times where I've pulled the group here. I've said, hey, what do you folks think is going to happen to Apple if, in fact, Tim Cook resigns? And a number of you folks said that Apple would actually trade higher. And I get it. And I don't even think that I would argue with that. I think if we got a confirmed, but I guess I should back up here and mention the story that I'm talking about, nothing is confirmed. I think that this was a report based on, someone that knew something. Maybe there's some speculation going there. So we are not reporting that Tim Cook is stepping down, but it looks like they're kind of preparing for that. My question to you, my more direct question to you is, if we get a confirmed headline that isn't fake, a confirmed real headline that Tim Cook is moving on, and I think it was someone from the engineering department, I can't recall his name, is likely to be the next successor here, is that actually good for Apple stock? And I think that the overwhelming majority here said that that would probably pop the stock, and I agree with that. Now, how much is that going to pop the stock? Is that going to be a multi-day run? That I don't know the answer to, but if I suspect that if folks think that more innovation is around the corner at a tech giant here, especially during the AI phase, that could be good for the stock. Thank you, producer. You always got my back, man. And for that, I am appreciative and I owe you. By the way, producer messaged me right after the Bears sealed up their win, put a smile on my face. He said, I'll be ready for the Victory Monday tomorrow. Producer, you are the real MVP. He's saying here, Cook's most likely successor is John Turnus, Apple's current senior vice president of hardware engineering. So I don't know John. I don't know a whole lot about John, but given his position at the company, I think this would actually be good for increased innovation. I would imagine he'd be someone in the right seat that could actually move the needle on more innovation there. Maybe they do enhance their wearables line with a pair of glasses that people actually like, for heaven's sake. Or maybe we actually get some AI-assisted Siri that's pretty good. Nonetheless, this is where the stock's at. We are up near all-time highs. Is Tenzin here yet? Probably not. When Tenzin gets here, I'll ask him. But to me, I like this. I like where the stock is for the holidays. I would really like for maybe a peak beneath this 268, 67, maybe even a move back down towards the 50, but not actually touching it. I think that would actually set up for a swing long into the holiday season. Maybe we get that Santa Claus rally that we're kind of thinking is happening here. That could actually make Apple a pretty decent trade at the end of the year. But this is where we're at with the chart, up near all-time highs. We're actually currently above the trend line. We might be giving that up here today. We might also be giving up the 20-day, which has determined our trend for some time. So, okay. How am I doing on time here? Still good. No guests here on a Monday. We're going to get 13 whenever. 13 is probably celebrating a Victory Monday himself because his Packers got a big win there. So maybe if he's 5 minutes late here, it's a good thing I don't take attendance. All right. Next stock that I want to talk about real quick. You guys are saying that there's Ondas news. Let me take a look at that here real fast. Might as well, since I'm kind of in between things here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Ondas secures an $8.2 million order from a major European security agency to protect one of Europe's largest airports with multiple Iron Drone radar systems. All right, this is exactly the type of thing that we want to see. I guess I'll probably have to read this with a little bit more scrutiny here. They announced today it secured an approximate $8.2 million purchase order. Remember, this is the thing that I said we want to see. We want to see contracts. We want to see new purchase orders. We want to see those orders get fulfilled. And eventually, we want to see these numbers bleed down through the bottom line. We just had a good earnings report last week. That's great. More contracts, more orders like this should be good. I'll spend some more time here reading through this, but on the surface here, this looks pretty good. Just about, I think that means like up to 8.2 million. So I think we could probably estimate this somewhere between 6 and 8.2 million of revenue there. Purchase order, European, this is all good. This is all part of the long-term plan that we have for Ondas here. If we take a look at the pricing, we are up higher here in the pre-market by about 4%. Looks like since we've got the news, Ondas really hasn't moved. It's kind of trading sideways here. Tough for me to find a negative. When I get some more time, I'll read through that press release a little bit more and see if there's any nugget that I can pick out of that. But on the surface here, this reads great. This is another new order. This is exactly what we wanted. So good shout out. Good mention there. Good morning, Izzy, by the way. Good to see you again. Okay, I do want to talk about I've got a couple more news stories here, but this one is actually about a mover that we have taken a look at. This is going to be about ticker ASST or Strive. Vivek Ramaswamy founded Strive, drew $37 million investment from this pension fund. Here's what you should know about it. A Canada-based pension fund disclosed on Thursday that it had purchased millions of dollars worth of shares in Bitcoin-focused treasury firm Strive. Sorry that I read that crappy, but basically a Canadian-based pension fund purchased this stock. Healthcare of Ontario Pension Plan Trust Fund holds 14.8 million shares of Strive, worth about $37.07 million. That's according to the latest 13F filing from the third quarter. The Toronto-based firm also submitted its Schedule 13G filing, disclosing that it owns 6.4% of all Class A common stock of Thrive. Earlier this year, asset entities, easy for me to say, shareholders approved a reverse merger with Vivek Ramaswamy-backed Strive Enterprises, creating a public Bitcoin treasury company worth a potential of $1.5 billion in funding. Let's take one quick second here and review the Google Doc that Day Trader so kindly put together for us. I'll link that here in the chat for anyone that doesn't have this yet. ASST is on this. And take a look at this. Day Trader, a man of his word, added some of the new columns here. Looks like the current price here at $1.08. Strive here still 104% year-to-date price change. This is, in fact, doing Bitcoin, and the close before this all started 61 cents. So Strive here at 108. Let's see what the price actually is here today. Let's go back to Pro real quick. ASST. Price here is 108. So we'll see where this one ends up going. This has still been one of the winners. It's kind of one of the cheapies here, but it's still holding higher. That's good to see. As of this writing, Strive holds 7,525 Bitcoin worth approximately 734 million, making it one of the biggest corporate holders of the Apex cryptocurrency. Now, at the time of the writing, Bitcoin was trading at 97K. Boy, Bitcoin losing it again here this morning. Bitcoin recently, in the past hour here, has traded down from about 95,000, losing the 94,500 handle. That's the Bitcoin futures chart. So Bitcoin under pressure again here this morning prior to the open. Strive shares popped 2.61% in after-hours trading after closing 10.85% lower at 115 during Thursday's regular session. Year-to-date, the stock has risen 134%. Y'all don't need this because Day Trader's document live tracks it, and we know that that's down to 108%. So we'll see what happens here with ASST, but that's making some news as well. Next story that I wanted to go over here, and you know what? We'll actually break this up a little bit. We'll start with the chart, and it is Oracle. We talked about this chart last week. Look at the spot Oracle is at. bouncing off the 200-day. So one of the reasons that I'm bringing this up, obviously we have some news here, but also is Oracle a trade that y'all folks are looking for? Swing long here on Oracle, maybe a bounce off the 200-day thing. I can't remember. Someone was on this last week, but I can't remember who it is. So I'm sorry I can't shout you out. But Oracle here bouncing off of the 200. We have some really good targets above here. The 20-day is at 253. Current price is at 221. So even a move back to the 20-day moving average would be pretty sweet here for Oracle. Is the sell-off over? Do we maybe test this spot a little bit more, or is it time to go long here on Oracle? Y'all have to let me know. Oracle's AI strategy shakes up Sparks market jitter, or AI strategy shakeup, sparks market jitters. Oracle has seen a significant market reaction following its bold shift towards artificial intelligence, resulting in a 25% drop in shares over the past month. But is it buyable? Oracle's ambitious entry into the AI sector, fueled by substantial borrowing, has caused unease on Wall Street. The tech behemoth has pledged to invest hundreds of billions in the next few years on chips and data centers, primarily to bolster its computing capacity for OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. As reported by the Financial Times, the magnitude and speed of Oracle's strategic shift have caused investors to question, especially at a time when spending patterns of large tech firms building massive data centers or hyperscalers are under scrutiny. Oracle shares have taken a 25% hit in the past month, almost twice the decline of the next worst performing hyperscaler, Meta, another show favorite here. This downturn has erased over $250 billion in market value gains that Oracle had accumulated after announcing its OpenAI deals in September. Oracle's delayed switch from software to cloud computing, coupled with its hefty wager on AI, has raised particular alarm. Despite the market's response, Oracle remains confident that the potential benefits will outweigh the risks, pointing to the rapidly increasing demand for AI, which far exceeds the current supply of computing power. Oracle's bold move into AI represents a significant shift in strategy, and the market's reaction underscores the risks associated with such a pivot. However, with the growing demand for AI and the potential rewards on offer, Oracle's gamble could pay off. And again, this is why I bring it to you, because the chart is in a spot for that as well. A bet here, a move higher, AI continue to proliferating could make Oracle a great trade. Y'all folks should let me know what you think. Y'all folks should let me know what you think about all of that. Ryan, did you see Dan Ives' interview on CNBC on Friday? No. I fully admit I started my weekend a little bit early. Producer, I'm assuming you saw that. Perhaps you can find me the clip. If you send it to me, I will review that, Keith, and take a look at it. Can you give me the synopsis of what happened by chance? He's definitely bullish, but you know what? I want to hear that. He's been right for a long time. Despite always being bullish, he's been right. You can't knock it. Still want to talk to him. Still want to hear what he has to say. I will hunt that clip down. James here says, I own Oracle long. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Looking at the chart here actually looks like a pretty good spot for Oracle. Producer was 404 not found before the show even ended on Friday. That's my guy. Producer was enjoying his Friday evening as well. That's what I like to see. Okay. How much time do we have? We don't have 13 yet, so I might as well just roll through this. We hit all of the charts that I wanted to review. Here's the last news story. We are cruising on time here. Howard Marks draws parallel between the AI boom and the dot-com bubble. The market is lofty, but not nutty. And it's not mania yet. Interesting. Legendary investor Howard Marks has drawn powerful parallels between the current market excitement over artificial intelligence and the 1999 dot-com bubble, warning that it's nearly impossible to know who the long-term winners will be, something that we've talked about quite a bit. Speaking with 3Protiv's Global Money Talk in South Korea, the co-chairman of Oaktree Capital Management said the U.S. stock market has moved from elevated to worrisome. However, he stopped short of calling it a full-blown bubble, describing the situation as lofty but not nutty and not yet a mania. No word if he was affected by my Halloween costume. LOL. Mark cautioned that while AI, I almost called that AOL, would have had to slap myself for that one. Mark's cautioned that while AI will be undoubtedly, Ryan, you got to get it together here. I know it's a Victory Monday, but good Lord, this is reading comprehension. Mark's cautioned that while AI will undoubtedly change the world, this fact does not guarantee investment success. Quote, in 1999, we thought the internet would change the world, and yet the vast majority of internet companies of 1999 ended up worthless. End quote. He goes on to say he argued that some logic applies to AI, noting the market is factoring in optimism with so much enthusiasm about AI. I think the worry here is that optimism and enthusiasm is a little bit frothy. There's going to be some back to reality for some of these names. And I agree that will be for some of these names, but not all. The core uncertainty, Marks explains, lies in separating a technology's impact from its profitability. He questioned whether profits will be captured by the AI creators, the company that use AI, or simply competed away and passed on to customers. Quote, I think there's a near 100% probability that AI will change the world, end quote. Goes on to say, but I think there will be much less than a 100% probability that investing in any given AI company or sector today will be profitable, end quote. So once again here, I think that there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And we can't just blindly buy and hold because AI. We have to be tactical about that. And I think we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to find more opportunity. And I do think some of these big players that swallow up some of the smaller players with the good technology will end up winning. Oracle here, Day Trader here says, still long Oracle. It popped so hard on earnings in September. It really is just reverting to the mean. I still bet on Larry Ellison. And that to me is a smart bet. And again, we just took a look at the chart. Seems like the chart is cooperating with where it's at right now as well. This uncertainty reinforces Mark's career-long investment philosophy, which has guided his famous memos for 35 years. Focus on risk control. Quote, our motto is if we avoid the losers, the winners take care of themselves, end quote. He noted that while the S&P 500 is dominated by 7 tech companies, investors must remember the difference between world-changing technology and profitable investment. Ed Yardeni maintained his S&P 500 target of 7,000, anticipating a good, solid Santa Claus rally throughout the end of the year, saying, we're in a bull market. Nothing has changed. We are still in a bull market. Additionally, Tom Lee reaffirmed his S&P 500 target, stating, quote, I think all of this means that the S&P can close at least 7,000, adding, I actually think that's a low number. Tom loves it. He absolutely loves it. Anyway, end quote. Okay, that's pretty much it here for the news. Now it's time, everyone's favorite time, I should say. Let's bring on 13 and see how his weekend was. Happy Monday, man. Happy Victory Monday.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's nice to have both our teams in a Victory Monday.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, that's not going to be nice later on when we're battling for the same playoff spot.
Oh, it's going to be even more fun.
Today, brother, we are having a good day. We are all signs are go and going ahead here. So where do you want to start, buddy?
Well, with that last night's game, it seems like every time one of our teams in our division goes up against the Eagles, we kind of don't have. I thought this was going to be a shootout almost. And it was just very, very slow. Like the last.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I too thought it was going to be a shootout. And in fact, the score when I predicted this game, I thought the Lions were going to win, and I said 37-24 Lions. And I talked to some of my friends who are Lions fans. They live in Detroit, and they said to me, "Oh no. They said this is going to be a low-scoring game. It's super windy. The run game is going to be out there." Now, I will say that the run game was not as prolific as I thought.
No.
This is the reason my bet didn't cash, but they were right about the score.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they obviously pay attention to their own team more than I do.
Yeah, they definitely pay attention to their own team more than I do. That's good. That makes sense here. Wind was pretty crazy there. Actually, some of the kicks in the pregame were wild. They were absolutely wild. But nonetheless, I am really happy here. As I said, it's November 17th, 2025, and the Chicago Bears are in first place in the NFC North. I had to pinch myself to make sure I wasn't in the twilight zone, but but here we are. All right, 13. What do you want to start with? Do you have any charts that you want to look at, news, or do you just want to dive right into the movers?
Well, several things that I was doing this weekend, and I wanted to dig some more into some of the different things happening with this whole tech rally, because we just recently saw memory and storage names absolutely skyrocket. They might not be done. And, you just were bringing up all these different analysts that are talking about this bull run that we're in, and we could be over 7,000 by the end of the year. I don't know about the short term, but I don't think that we are anywhere near being done with this tech rally. I think this is going to go on for a while, and we might see some pockets of downturn, briefly. It might, maybe months or so, but I think that this is going to be, we're going to see a lot more upside in the tech space, particularly when it comes to NAND and DRAM memories. This is going to get very expensive, and later on you can take a look at it yourself. But just in the past couple of months, memory for prices, on the consumer side, has gone up anywhere from 80% to almost 200%. I'm talking to myself now, aren't I? Oh, there you are.
I'm trying to blow my nose while you were going on.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to
I thought you left
out on it. I mean, geez.
But so we can get into some more of this later. But there's some things that I was looking into that I'm concerned about. Especially with this all these different companies passing around the same money that actually doesn't exist. So lots of things that I was uncovering this weekend that I'm a little bit concerned about. But as far as this rally goes, no, it's going to be ups and downs. But I think we're going to continue on with this for a while.
Okay, the other thing here, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Dell here, this is actually trading lower because Morgan Stanley downgraded the stock to underweight, cut its price target. I don't know if you've seen the report for this. I'm going to try and get my hands on it. Have you?
No, but I think the reason that's for that is because NVIDIA is going to sell their own servers, like their full stack servers. So this is cutting right into Dell's business.
Okay, so here's the thing. I want to. You're talking here about some of like the memory, hardware, and all that. I want to actually see if I can get my hands on this report and see if there's any clues or cues we can pick up from it about this downgrade here on Dell. Okay. I'm just spitballing. I don't know if there's really any connection, but this is something that I will work on here today, and I will share it with you if I'm able to get that.
I also was looking into some of, because we toward the end of the week last week, we were talking about this potential Warner Brothers Discovery deal that's kind of being floated about which company is going to pick it up. And the three that we were looking at, we have Comcast that's interested. You have Paramount, and what's the other one? It's on the tip of my tongue, but there's three.
Paramount.
I don't think it was Netflix that was looking to pick them up. Maybe, but I don't
Warner Brothers Discovery.
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is getting sold. Yes. Okay. So Netflix. It is Netflix. Paramount, Skydance, and then Comcast. So those have been the three that have been talked about lately about who's going to, which one of those are going to get pick them up. I recently read something about how it might actually get bought by a Saudi wealth fund, because they are really looking to expand entertainment products and offerings out there. They want to build theme parks. They want to, they want to have all this IP. And Warner Brothers Discovery has a massive amount of it that they want, and they want to try to pick that up. So I think, and I sent you an article on this over the weekend. I sent it to you yesterday. So
you think I saw an article from yesterday during 14 hours of football? That's cute.
Well, you saw it this morning with 0 hours of football.
No, I actually, when I wake up, I get prepared for the show. Gotcha. I do see it here at the cosmicbook.news, right?
Yeah.
That's the link here?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most recent one I have. I think it's comic news.
Should I share this with the group?
Sure. There's a lot of really interesting information in there.
Here's the article that 13 is referencing. I haven't gone through this yet, but I will. 13. I should have. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for my dentist appointment today. Maybe I'll go ahead and read that,
because apparently they're trying to bring back the Snyderverse for DC Comics. Remember that whole universe was Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
They're trying to bring that back. So the thought here now, based on this article, I mean, it might actually be true. If that's the case, then James Gunn is out, and it's going to be Zack Snyder back in to complete this Snyder universe. And that's one of the aspects the Saudis wanted, because they're already they already like working with Zack Snyder. So it's a very interesting article.
Okay.
I think it's worth the read.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see what ends up
definitely will.
happening.
Again, no disrespect to you. The only reason I didn't is because I was maxing.
Oh, I get you.
Literally.
I got you. Now that with all that out of the way, because those are some things I was looking at the weekend and you had asked. But now let's talk about movers, because
Perfect.
We got some of those to look at too.
You never disappoint, 13. I asked you about something we didn't even talk about, and you had content for it. Way to go. All right. Starting with the movers here. First one is going to be SGML. This is Sigma Lithium. We traded this during the lithium news rush, didn't we? I feel like you might have some levels for this one. This was reported on Friday morning. They had earnings here. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of continuation today. And what's interesting here is that it looks like this actually traded up on fairly light volume before taking this next leg higher on this elevated volume. So I don't think I have anything else fresh from this. Yep, this is just the earnings from Friday morning of last week. Take a quick look at the short interest here. Elevated 16.67% of the float is shorted on 2.28 days to cover. That comes on an average 100-day volume of 3.9 million. Today it's done 10.6 already. Float here is 63.5. What do you think here, SGML? Do you have levels for this?
No, I don't actually.
Okay.
This is another lithium name. Of course, like it's in the name itself. I kind of noticed that lithium stocks were up because ALB was up today, and didn't notice any news other than the earnings report on Friday. But the earnings report, I mean, it's great that they didn't lose as much money, but whatever. They didn't lose as much money. I guess that's great. They're still a growth.
They didn't lose as much money, but you question how great the report actually is. Probably not great for a 50% gain here today.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that there might the short interest have a little something to do with it. Company does have some revenue, although they haven't had as much revenue as they had in past years. It seems like it's been on a decline a little bit, but they are turning. Looks like they're trying to turn this around. So there's some hope there. As far as levels go, we are trading. We're actually trying to hold above the VWAP right now. 979 was the high this morning. We just printed that about 20 minutes ago. As long as we hold above the VWAP, we should see some more upside. I didn't actually get levels for this one, but because we're past a lot of levels. If we do manage to get into the 10 handle, though, there is some big resistance, a lot of sideways price action from about 1040 to 1240. So it's a big old sideways channel. So that would be one of the big resistance areas that we'd have to chew through. There might even see a reversal at that stage, but if volume's good enough, maybe there's a chance to chew through it.
Okay, we'll see if we get it here tonight. Let's see. So we came back to, okay, this is the 9 EMA. Sorry, the 9 EMA and the VWAP look similar on the chart. So we pull back to the 9 EMA. We're holding it. We'll see if we hold the VWAP. All right, good stuff there. SGML. Next here is going to be GLMD. This is Galmed Pharmaceuticals. The stock was looking like it might break beneath $1 here until this morning where it's popped. Galmed announces top-line results from an oncology MOA study showing a combination of several of its drugs here for enhanced GI tumor cells, killing in vivo and in vitro. So getting some good data here. Stock is popping. Looks like 150. Looks like we actually went up towards 170, but it looks like it's getting some resistance here at 150. Quick look at the short interest on this little guy. 0.1% of the float shorted, so negligible, 0.1%. 1 day to cover, and that's nothing. That comes on an average volume of 118,000. Today there's 21.3 million. So no problem here covering all that up. Float's 5.41, so it is in that realm that we're looking at. What do you think here on ticker GLMD?
This one we have traded before, and I have my levels. Unfortunately, all those levels were when they were much higher. So the lowest level that I have is 446, and we are at 139 right now. So a little bit of a ways away from the last levels that I've had. No doubt this thing just continues to burn cash as their financials indicate. No revenue. Has like a couple quarters of cash, maybe not even that much, maybe almost 2 quarters exactly before they have to do a capital raise. Okay. I'd be very careful with this one. This one is one that is going to need to raise more money. So with that in mind, and maybe they at some point they pretend, I don't know if they reverse split. Their float is already small, but they were teetering on $1 prior to the news today. So Maybe they don't. I don't know, but
their last reverse was a 1 for 12 back in August of
last year.
2024.
Yeah.
And then previously to that, it was May of 2023. So that was like a year and 3 months. Okay, well, a year and 3 months, boy, that's right around the corner here, 13. So
pattern. There's a pattern there.
That's right.
So
and now they're popping here on news. So maybe this is the environment that they raise into. We'll see.
Yeah. So right now, the levels that I have to the upside, there's a couple of EMAs. The 65-day EMA, that's 140, and then the 200-day EMA is at 202. Those would be the next areas I'd be keeping an eye on. But there might also be some resistance at about 165 as well.
Okay. All right, GLMD. Next here is going to be ZYME, and this is the big mover there. Big mover here. Zymeworks shares are trading higher after the company and its partners reported statistically significant and clinically meaningful improvements across PFS, OS, ORR, and DOR in the Horizon GEA-01 study. So getting data here out of that Horizon GEA-01 study, I'm not sure what that is. I have to look into it. Perhaps you already have. This stock was about $18, just shy of $19 on Friday. We popped as high as 32 early. That was very, very short-lived. Came back into 30. Now we've kind of equalized a little bit more. We are beneath VWAP here, so as far as trading goes, I would love to see a move above this 26.21 level. That would make me feel pretty good about a potential move back towards the highs. We'll see if we get it. Here in the pre-market, this is spread about 11 to 15 cents, depending on where the price is. So shouldn't be terrible for trading. We'll see if that spread maintains when the market actually opens here. Holding higher by just shy of 36%. This does have some short interest, 12.79% of the float shorted with 7.56 days to cover. That days to cover comes on 728,000 shares of volume. We've only done 3.2 million here. Float on this is 58.8, so just about 59 million. 13, what do you think here on ZYME? And as bonus, do you think we get any type of squeeze action here?
Well, the float's a little bit bigger on this one, so I won't say no, but I won't say yes. I don't know how much this will squeeze. If it does, it may have already done that, and then we're just seeing the aftermath of that squeeze, because this went up to 31.16. Now we're trading down at 25.20, and we're trying to recapture the VWAP. And it looks to me like $26 has been a bit of a resistance area this morning ever since we lost it. So that would be the next two big levels that I think we need to recapture, because we're still beneath VWAP. But VWAP and that $26 level, need to see that recaptured if we're going to come back up to that 31, or even have a chance at that 31.16 high that we made. This company did report phase 3. I don't think that they're going to need to raise any capital. Their financials look all right, even though they are losing money. They're just not losing a substantial amount of it, based on the amount of cash they have in the bank, and they also have revenue. So I don't think they'll need to raise capital. It wouldn't make sense to me if they did. It seems like they're okay with their finances. But those levels are just the things that I'd be focusing on now. Now, if there is some downside, what we don't want to see is a loss of the 65 EMA, which is currently at 23.27.
Okay. Really good stuff. Really good breakdown. We got to do a little bit of a change up here, because we had a penny stock that came into dollar territory, went back into penny territory, didn't appear on the movers list, and is now back above $1. So let's just cover it, because this thing might dance around this area the entire day here. This is Autonomics Medical. So Autonomics Medical, Autonomics Medical, ticker AMIX, Alpha Mary Indigo X-Ray. Autonomics Medical shares are trading higher after the company reported post hoc subgroup analysis results from its first in-human study showing potential quality of life improvements with a targeted ablation therapy. Okay, so good news here for quality of life improvements. Stock is still probably laden with a bunch of debt, probably a pre-revenue, I'm guessing, just based on the price here. Yep, pre-revenue, they don't really make any money. 4.5 mil cap, trading higher here. 6 million shares in the float. On average, stock trades 393,000 shares. Today it's traded 69 million. Look out. A quick look at the short interest on this name. 3.45% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. 13, what do you think here on ticker AMIX?
Yeah, this one was actually more towards the top this morning when I started to take a look at it, and it's interesting that it's come down. But this news almost seemed like it was rehashed. I don't think it's exactly the same news. I think these are some later results, but they had very similar news on September 3rd if you look at the chart, you can see that did pop up, and then we, out of the gate, and then we hit the 65-day EMA and then sold off. So very similar news to that day. I would expect that we get something similar. I don't know that at this stage we're going to be able to get back up to the 65 EMA, but we could. We already were up there earlier today, but we have to turn around here pretty soon. 65 EMA I have on the daily chart is at 109, almost 110.
Okay. 109 is the VWAP I have on the intraday. So
and that's so that's VWAP right now. So VWAP and the 65-day EMA got to get above that, or else I think we're going to end up going lower.
Okay. All right, good stuff there. Yeah.
One last thing about that. This does have 2 to 3/4 of the cash, but an offering I did notice was on the table.
Okay. Okay, couple more movers here to talk about. Then I want to highlight Bharat's comment here. Bharat saying, and I'm just highlighting this right now because I don't want to forget, but I do want to finish up some of the movers here. Bharat saying, does this PM action feel like last Thursday? We're going to investigate that. Yes, Bharat, it does a little bit, but let's take a look at that here. This is a astute synopsis. Let me finish off real quick with some of the junky movers here, so we're all ready to go with that. Next here is going to be GNS. This is Genius Group Limited. Looks like this popped on Friday here. I don't have any notes for the news in front of me here. On Friday, after hours, Genius Group files federal securities class action lawsuit against Citadel and Virtue Financial for alleged market manipulation. All right, so what I'm going to say on the top there, good luck with that lawsuit.
Yeah, you have bigger fish to fry if that's what you want to go after.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have any success. I don't know how much traction that thing has at all. But nonetheless, I'm going to report the news. Stocks up 22.8% here. 5.5% of the float shorted with 3.61 days to cover. Comes on an average 100-day volume of 2.15 million. Today it's done 36 plus million. Float on this is 78.4 million. All right, man, what do you think about this?
Well, I think when I'm looking at this 5-minute chart right now, it's good that we've recaptured the 200 EMA, but we are making our way up to the 65 and the VWAP. And there's also a bit of a trend line there. I'm sure you can see it. If we recapture VWAP in that 65 EMA, then
you draw it from the big post here at the opening of this is what this what you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah. So if we can, and we're kind of getting a little bit of a bull pennant happening here. So I think that if we continue with this price action we're going to get a recapture of that 65 EMA and the VWAP. And if that happens, then it looks like a breakout of this trend line could happen thereafter. That's just, on the technical side. GNS, I didn't cover this one, so give me 1 second here. So this has 78 million shares in the float, a little bit heavier. I think it's the heaviest one we've looked at so far this morning. Their financials, I don't have a great read on. Let me go to annual. They lose money. They have revenue, though, but they don't have a whole lot of cash. So be careful, I would say, with this one. This looks like they might need to raise capital.
Okay. Capital raise, something to avoid. We've actually traded this one before. I've not had good results with this name. So probably look at some of the other ones here today, but I'm saying I will personally, but nonetheless, 13, good breakdown.
I wanted to point out one from Friday because we traded it on Thursday. It was MGRX, or at least we took a look at it.
Got it.
MGRX, Mango Pharmaceuticals. Remember this just opened and it had
Mango Cuticles?
Yeah, Mango Cuticles, that's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it just sold off all day. Well, then on Friday, we got a little bit of recovery, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So I just wanted to point out some of these names that have these really big sell-offs, keep an eye on them because they can provide a relief trade the following day.
And you're probably better off waiting that sell-off, right? Let it get blasted, let it get pounded down, let the sellers get exhausted. Then that's when you go back to it for a short-term trade. Good stuff there. Good stuff there, team. Did you have anything else on your list here?
No, sir.
Okay. I just want to mention here real quick, RPTX. This is Repair Therapeutics. This stock popped up towards 230 on Friday after hours. It's holding some of that here today. Looks like they reported earnings here. So they made 8 cents versus a 12-cent loss. That's good. Sales here, 11.62 million. That beat the 7.5 million estimates. Pretty good beat there. And this is an acquisition? Wait. Xenotherapeutics to acquire Repair at 182 per share plus the CVR. So there's probably no trade here then, right?
Let's see.
Because the CVR probably took it a little bit higher than 182. We're trading 205 here in the pre-market. You know what? So to figure out the CVR, I probably have to go through the PR here. I would hold off on this one. This to me looks like, I don't know why it's coming back in though. Well, in any case, this is what's going on with this one. Acquisition 13. We can take a look at that.
The reason it's coming down is because the Demi firm is investigating whether this takeover is a fair price for public shareholders.
Yeah, they always do that though. These are the ambulance chasing attorneys, right? I'm pretty sure.
If it's coming down, there must be a body on the ground. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No. To be fair, you're right. That's in the newsfeed here. I'm just kind of. I'm kind of looking past that. Maybe I shouldn't be. We'll see how this one shakes out here, but that's what's going on with this. Next here, we also had VSIG. This is one that we had been taking a look at recently. It's back here today. Folks, this is what the action looked like the last couple of times we traded it. There was one day in here where this had a decent pump up, but if you didn't catch that, you probably bag held. Careful with VSIG here, especially getting the pre-market. I want to call them shenanigans. I mean, I really want to call them shenanigans, but that's what's going on here with VSIG. Be careful. QUBT, the quantum name. Quantum computing shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results on Friday. Yeah, sorry.
You saw the news on VSIG, right?
I did not.
Special dividend.
Okay, but this was special dividend. Oh, this is new. Special dividend. Okay. No, sorry. I did miss. This is a good mention here. 10% of the share of capital in cybersecurity AI. What is?
I mean, that's the news. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's, I want to figure it out though. Like I didn't actually read this. I don't know how much it's going to be. When is the distribution? So anyway, stock is trading. Go ahead.
It's basically a special dividend in the form of 10% of the share capital. So whatever that their subsidiary V Gallant Limited has. So you'd have to.
So that might be much ado about nothing. I mean,
I don't know what their the capital is on that. So
okay, but you're right. This is why it's moving. Yep. Not sure how great that is long term. That would be only a short term thing for me. Anyway, QUBT here. They had earnings on Friday. They actually beat. They have a EPS of 1 cent. That beat the 6 cent loss estimate. Sales of 384,000. That was twice the 116,000 estimate. So at least it's got that going for it. I'm sorry. I'm being facetious here. Stock's up 10%. Quick peek at the short interest on this name. 16.23% of the float shorted. 1 day to cover. You guys have traded this one. Floats here, 200 million. This probably is going to trade its average here today, higher in the pre-market, but leaking some of those gains. The other stock I wanted to mention here was
1325 resistance for quantum computing. That's about where the 200-day SMA is. I think I'd look at that as having some resistance.
Okay, 1325, and actually, okay, so geez, that's pretty much the pre-market area where the thing was rejected from.
Oh, okay, right at the 200. Yeah, I was just looking at
okay, that makes total sense then. That makes total sense then. Okay, the good spot there, 13. And then CYPH here. This is Cypherpunk Technologies. This was obviously a decent trade there on Friday. Actually, a trade there on Wednesday and Friday. We popped again here in the pre-market, but we're basically back to the what? I don't even really want to call this consolidation area, an area where it found support after a leg higher. So we'll see what CYPH does here. I don't think there was anything new news. No new news here. So this is just trading on technicals. We'll see if we get another trade here on this one today.
It's very extended on the daily chart. I wouldn't be surprised if this came in a little bit more or came down to 250. That's where I would think that there's going to be support if this comes in 250 initially. Might be lower. But this thing really does need to come back in. The daily chart is very extended.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. And then 13, just to kind of recap, I already talked about it a little bit. Ondas, this trading higher here, they did have news. They got an $8.2 million purchase order for its Iron Drone radar defense system from a European security agency. So everything that Eric Brock talked to us about during that interview looks like that is materializing, and another order here.
What a massive reload opportunity that was on Friday. ONDS.
Oh, you know what? Let me go. Actually, this is a good, this might be another good chart to take a look at, but let me do it on the bigger chart where I have some of those SMAs, because you're exactly right. So first of all, the news here today, yep, you guessed it, trading above that 50-day moving average. You'll notice that the last 2 days that we had here on Ondas that were good days with good volume, after a pretty uncomfortable, shall we say, sell-off. Met with two pretty good days there with good buying volume. They couldn't get us above the 50, but today we're above the 50. So the big thing that I want to see here today, can we close above 746? If we can close above that 50, we should be in good shape. And the reload, you wanted to talk about the 20-day there?
Well, I wasn't looking at the 20-day as the reload spot. I was just saying Friday you opened lower than the previous day, and then you ended up engulfing that candle and went really high. But I think there's a little bit of concern that I have around 825 to 840. That might be a pretty big resistance area. If the price gets rejected, then we're going to want to make sure that 20-day SMA holds up.
Got it. So you're basically saying right in here, and it's also worth noting, 13, the first time it tried to move above this level before it went to double digits, it also had trouble with that level just by looking at the candle. So good spot there. I'm pretty, Izzy, didn't you have a really good day with this on Friday? Because that big opening rip, I think you were short-term trading this. I think you.
Oh, he and I were both trading this.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. I love it. I actually said, my friend asked me on Friday. He goes, how you doing? And I was in such a good mood from Friday, but also getting, going into the weekend here. I was like, this is great, man. I was like, there are a lot of people in the morning program that are trading ONDS back and forth. And people are making money on a stock that I'm making money on, and it is about the best damn feeling you can have from this position. So super, super happy about that. We'll see how this goes here.
As I recall, I think he said he made 4,000 off the trading that he was doing.
Yeah, we're going to get another register ring there. Okay, I already talked about Netflix. Izzy, you were still in bed when we talked about that, but let's do it again because this chart is important here.
Take care, Big Hurt.
What?
I was saying, take care, Big Hurt. He's splitting.
Okay. Netflix here. We talked about this one, possibly recapturing the 200. We outlined how the move up to the 200 and the resistance, and then the recapture was pretty good. But boy, oh boy, that was short-lived. We never got our 3 closes above the 200 day, by the way. Actually, yes, you know what? I beg your pardon. We did. But the first one here was real close. We gave this away right away. I'll tell you what, this candle from Friday, definitely concerning. Not only did we give up the 200 and the 20, but it does look like we are probably going to test this 108 level here. That would be my guess. This, to me, Izzy, sure looks like we have a little bit of a downside level to probe here. Maybe it does hold and we reverse, but it sure looks to me like we kind of want to probe this. I think the actual low here, 107.34. Obviously, the split has taken place now. So one of the other things that we've talked about is this going to trade crappy like Chipotle did after its split? I understand they're different businesses, but we'll see how the trading is here today. Izzy, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not in a rush for this one. I'm really not.
I don't think you're going to get a Chipotle-like
breakdown
result of they had with their stock split. I think you're going to get more of the like of Walmart and Apple and Tesla, where you're going to see some selling initially because portfolios are rebalancing. There's got to take some profit. You have a whole bunch of shares now. I think that you're going to see some rebalancing. I don't think today is just the day to start getting into this. It's probably going to be closer to the price you were mentioning, down around 108, maybe even down at around 100.
Yep.
Because that spot looks pretty good to me too.
And so wasn't that your $1,000-ish level pre-split?
Yep.
So there you go. And then Izzy, the other part about this, you're kind of already touching on it. I think one of the reasons why people are attracted to this, obviously the chart's one thing. Stranger Things will be huge. Now, I don't know anything about this show, so I can't speak to that, but I'm going to trust your word for it. Don't forget, we also have more NFL games on Christmas that you're going to need Netflix for. I'm going to buy it, and I am never a subscriber for Netflix.
My son's a big Stranger Things fan, so we watched the show together, and we'll be watching this one too. It's pretty good. I like it. I think they've got. I mean, I don't think the first episode comes out until later this month, and then, or maybe it's Christmas. I don't know. They've got a weird schedule ahead. I don't remember what it looks like, but my son's going to keep me abreast of when to start watching. But I agree. Stranger Things is going to be big for Netflix. It's one of the most anticipated shows. It's coming out. Well, it's already been out. This is the 5th season. And it's supposed to be the final season. So they're concluding the whole story, which is great because we've had a lot of shows in the past that have started off strong and ended up absolutely horrible. Game of Thrones. I'm glad that they're, Thanksgiving. Excellent. Yes, and Izzy, yes, my kid is excited for it. When I was handing out candy to trick or treaters, there were trick or treaters wearing Hellfire Club shirts. I know that the hype is big. I agree, it's going to be great for the company. I still think that we need to wait for the rebalancing and the selling to kind of happen, and then we can pick it up. I think that we're going to see some weakness after the split initially. It will be strong. It will go to new all-time highs, just not right away.
Okay.
Please don't GOT repeat. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so this one's interesting to me. Like I said, I am interested in Netflix. I definitely want to see how it trades here. That first move above the 200 is kind of shaky, but if we maybe kind of hold this area and move back above it, we'll probably take another stab at it. Should be a little bit easier to trade as well post split. We'll see. We will see. Okay. And then you said, I will trade like NVIDIA after the split. So you're looking for 97 on this one, Yassine. Okay, we'll see if we lose 100 or where we actually settle down here on Netflix. Okay. What else you got? And we'll take Yassine's question here. NBIS. Yeah. NBIS, Goldman Sachs price target of 155. So looking at the entry price here, okay, well, look at the chart. I mean, just being conservative that I am in nature, I would love for this gap to really kind of fill. I guess if the gap fills, that's all the way down here at 66, but I'd probably be interested here at about $75. We are right near the 100-day. So we're currently sitting at like what, 84 and a half. So we're 20 cents away from the actual 100-day value. Yassine, if we can close above this, maybe we do make a move back higher. You're saying that Goldman Sachs gave this a price target here. Goldman Sachs sticks to their buy rating with the price target of 155. So no change. That's just sticking to their rating there. And I believe that happened last week. This is just kind of a recap article for that. But, here's the thing. NBIS, this one's tough. So first of all, I'm not sure that this is going to be a long-term AI winner. It very well could be, but I'm not sure about it, as I'm sure about things like Meta or Oracle or TSM or something of that nature. So I don't compare it necessarily to those. And then personally for me, it's very tough because when we first uncovered this stock, my first buy was $17. And so it's just very difficult for me to train myself to buy it up here near, 100 or 80 or wherever it is in there. That being said, looking at the chart here, would really want to see a recapture here. Otherwise, I actually think we have otherwise we're still kind of in a little bit of a downtrend here. What do you think about this chart, 13?
Well, I think with Friday's candle, I'm curious to see if we're going to get a reversal off that. That's an inverted hammer. We could get a reversal off of that in a technical sense. We have gone down to 33 RSI. I think we went a little bit lower. Yeah, 33 RSI. That was on Friday. So we are in kind of oversold territory. Not really that much, but we're kind of at the doorstep of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this did go lower. But with this candle here we got on Friday, it wouldn't surprise me either if we did turn around and recapture what I think is a pretty important level, $87. Ever since September, that was when we gapped up. That has been the support area has been that $86 to $87 price range. Once we got support from that in early September, we rocketed away. Now we're back here getting support from that same level again. But on Friday, when we opened beneath it, we were rejected by that level.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little bit concerned on both ends. So either if we could break down, fill that gap, that would probably be pretty good, but it would be absolutely super oversold at that point. Or we can just turn around here, recapture 87, and try to go on a path to recovery. So I'm not sure about what we're going to get yet because there are several different signals that I'm getting from this. But let's see which one emerges.
Okay, Yassine here said 75 would be perfect, but I'm worried it could go to 66 if the market corrects.
Sure.
So and you're right about that. But I would say, what's your long term? Do you believe in this? Because if it does, then that move down to 66 is probably just an add area if you have a longer term time horizon on it, I would guess. Mo here saying if Ondas can break 820, 830, light resistance up to the 1090 area, get me home, brother. I'll take that. I'm just glad to see the earnings out of the way with a positive report and now another contract on top of that. That just means that this is playing out. So.
Jay mentioning the NBIS Fred Alger group increased the stake.
I'm not familiar with Fred Alger. Are you? Is this one I should read about too?
I'm not familiar with Fred Alger, but if there's a fund that's increasing their stake in it, they see something here. They probably don't think that this party's over, and if with all these other analysts saying that this is worth more than $100, I'd be curious where they increased their stake. Was it on Friday, or was it sometime last week, or are they continuing to do that as it goes lower? I mean, I don't know, but if there's funds that are still buying this as it comes in, then they're might not be done. It might still be a long term. Think of it in terms of 2 years. Where's it going to be in 2 years?
Yeah,
could be higher.
Yeah, I mean, given what we've seen in AI, could be much higher. That's the thing. Interesting. Fred Alger. That might be another group to kind of look into. I'm not familiar with that, but really good stuff. Okay, H&H Tactical here. Sorry, CoinFox becoming a member of Zinger Nation. Welcome,
fantastic,
CoinFox. Good to have you. Always looking for more Bitcoin insight. H&H Tactical wants to talk about snow. Price target got raised above 300. Let me pull that up. H&H Tactical, I am interested if you have any recommendation on plate carriers, by the way, but that's for another day. Let's take a look at snow here. Here's your snow chart. Did look like there's possible double top up near 280. Stock is backed off, but was held by the 50-day moving average. What I would really like to see here is a reclaim of the 262.5. I think that probably sets the stage for a 280 test. You had talked about some of the price targets there. Let's actually go to the calendar and check out all of the different analyst ratings here. Looks like our price targets vary. Our November price targets, 285, 310, 312. That comes from Mizuho, Bank of America, and BTIG. It's also worth noting at the end of October, JPM gave a 325 price target. So this thing has multiple price targets from multiple reputable banks above your 300 level. Looking at the chart here, I love the bounce here off the 50. I'll be honest with you, I don't trade snow very often. I don't have a feel for the actual trading here, but this chart sure looks constructive on a daily here. A recapture of that 262.5 would be nice.
Yeah. I'm just was looking at different time frames. The weekly chart had a golden cross that recently happened, but that 280, that's the big hurdle right now. I don't see really anything else that sticks out more. Is that how much resistance that 280 level is pushing? If it does manage to break over that, then I do like 300. I just don't know if we're going to. I just don't know. Hold on a second. There's also a trend line here. I got to draw that I just noticed.
Let me add that here, but with the remaining 4 minutes, I want to get back to what Bharat said earlier.
Okay. If you look at the daily chart, start if you can. Do zeros go back to 2020?
Might. Let's see here. Weekly.
How about 2021?
Zoom out.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
You go. You see it. You see it now, don't you?
These two. Yes, I do.
And if you go all the way through to the one we just had, it lines up perfectly.
So you're like the.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty dang good.
Righty then.
Let's break over that trend line.
That is pretty dang good.
That just makes the 280 breakout look like it's going to be even more explosive.
Ford to sell used cars on Amazon. Do I get prime delivery of said cars?
That's interesting. So I
was just thinking to myself, that's interesting, but I have more questions that I don't have the answers to. Tracy, appreciate that. Good mention. Here, really quick, before we run out of time, let me talk about SPY. Bharat brought up a really good question. We talk about pattern recognition, pattern trading, all of that to help you become more consistent and all of that. Bharat had said, does today feel like Thursday's pre-market? So here's the session, right? We popped a little bit. We've done nothing but leak in the pre-market. It absolutely looks like this wants to go lower. All right? Absolutely. Here's Thursday's pre-market session. We held for a while, and then we had some weakness right ahead of the open. That weakness compounded throughout the rest of the day where we closed near the lows. Then on Friday 13, I think you talked about this on happy hour on Thursday night, we gapped down, shot a little bit lower, but bounced off 667 and closed relatively flat. So now it kind of looks like this wants to retest that level. I got to think 667 is on deck here. It doesn't feel exactly like it did on Thursday, but I do feel the weakness here. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that we might see this come down to towards 660 again. I don't know what the exact price is going to be. We might actually see it come down to Friday, November 7th lows, or last Friday's lows. There's even a trend line here if we use those lows from both those days. The way that this is, bouncing and not really recovering that well, I'm a little concerned that this is going to come back in and go lower some more. We'll see if that ends up happening, but that area around 672 to 674, where we were making these all-time highs for a little while before we broke out of that area, that is a big support and resistance area, and we've been kind of trying to recapture that, and it doesn't look like it's been working out too well. So I'm a little concerned that we're going to see some more downside, and the price could end up going down towards 664 or 663 today.
Okay, well, if you have weakness here, maybe inverse ETFs, right? RGTZ, PLTZ, Palantir's at the lows, Tesla's at the lows. Looks like we are seeing some weakness here. Even Apple at the lows. Even Ondas pulled back, and they had good news here today. Okay, Glenn's, we're open. Glenn says, I'd never buy a used car without driving it first. Good advice there, but we are open. Let's see where we go here today.
All right, let's see what's happening out of the gate here. So AMIX trying to get a push out of the gate here. Got some sellers in the way, but looks like 130. That was the high from the pre-market. It's heading towards there right now. If we get some more volume, we're going to hit it. SGML, that's also rising out of the gate. We have VWAP at the way at 867. See if we can get pushed through that. GLMD also rising out of the gate, also has VWAP in the way to the upside. That value is at 138. ZYME also bouncing off the 65 EMA out of the gate, but it looks like it's not as strong as some of the others. We could still go beneath it. GNS is just sinking.
Okay, ZYME here. I tried to get some RGTZ right out of the open and couldn't get filled. Bummer. That thing went higher. Tried to take my own advice there and could not get filled.
Trout Bum mentioning IVVD.
IVV, that was a mover from, what was that, last week, the week before?
It's ripping right now. It's headed towards 275.
Man, I'll tell you what, nice move up there. RGTZ 13. I tried to pull a U and trade that right out of the open. Just didn't get filled. IVVD, this spiking. I don't see new entry there, but it is moving. Grats if you had it. CMBM from Kathy.
I don't recall if we traded this one or not at some point earlier this year, but this one had some nice movement out of the gate here. Trying to deal with 315 right now. That appears to be the resistance area. It is currently trading above the VWAP for the moment, but I don't know what the news is. I don't know how it looks a little illiquid too. So I think I'd be a little careful here.
We absolutely traded this one before, CMBM. I actually remember trading this one. I don't see any new news here.
You know what, Amanda? I'm gonna have to take a picture of it, but I compromise with my wife. You know what? We'll get to that in a little bit. We have movers to it, but I've got some.
I want all of the Christmas decoration pictures and everything, and I want it all. So I'll just blanket statement. I want to see all of it.
It's not Christmas decorations. The tree is up, but I have everything dressed up in a fall theme, so that
I want to see that too. I want to see that too.
When Christmas time does come, we don't have to take the tree up or down. We just change the decorations.
That seems smart. Okay, real quickly here, things are changing rapidly. SPY and NASDAQ are bouncing. AMIX at the highs. This might halt.
It doesn't look like it is, but
no, I don't think. I'm saying if this keeps going, it might halt here. By the way, RGTZ pulled back. That was quick. That was a nice move out of the gate there.
RPTX. This is starting to get some movement here. Trying to get through the seller at 110, large seller. IVVD right up to 275, finding resistance now. 275 I have marked off, so this is a pretty important level for the stock. Now, if this does happen to go beyond 275, $3 is the next resistance area.
Google still going here, so we'll watch what happens with this market bounce if this continues. But Google going for that 292 high. See if it gets there. That's Google.
IDAI news. Oh,
is that good?
I'm finding that. We have submit request for no action relief from SEC and EU. My car following 10 million capital raise. They also is this for it confirms it's stablecoin wallet of wallets.
Okay, so I don't know if that's the real good news yet. Google pulling back a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll have to confer with some folks that have been on this one.
Well, is there something we need to maybe look into right now? How's it doing?
SGML is halted to the downside. It's not doing a whole lot right now.
Okay, 5%. It's not a huge mover, yeah.
And it's only traded, 5.8 thousand shares. So Looks
Okay,
like
so
GLMD with the reversal off the 200 EMA. Sorry.
it's okay. I want to see if Google breaks 290. I'm interested in that because I think if it does, we might actually set some new highs here, but we can wait that out. GLMG was the one that you mentioned. GLMG.
GLMD
GLMD. Excuse me.
had bounced off the 200 and the 65 EMAs, and then we also have IVVD that's now through 275, looking for $3 now.
GLDM? No. GL.
What, the one I just said? IVVD?
No, GLMD. There it is. It just didn't show up before. There we go. There we go. Google above 290. There it happened. All right, let's see if we go to the 292 here. So here's your GLMD. And I'm sorry, I went away from Google for that. No offense.
So looking at Ondas, you had a pop just before the open. It took it up to 796, and now we're down at 711. Trying to rebound here. Does this look like an interesting spot for you?
No, to me, it's all about the 50 here. I suppose, you know what? Actually, you know what? Looking at this, for a day trade, yeah, you know what? It kind of is. This 717.7 area, this was a bounce spot from the end of the day on Friday. We actually, if I extend this trend line out 13, let me do that here real quick. I'm going to try and keep it the same, but extend it till it goes out to today. Here's the area. I would say $7 to $7.15 would be a tradable bounce area here on ONDS. I'm not doing this because I just have more of a long-term approach, and I do have some calls actually on this, but yeah, not a bad area there. Google there, by the way, 292. Here we go on Google. 292 print will close that scalp. Oh, it almost got there. That was almost it. Come on. Close me out, baby. Close, bang, and we're done. Google. So 1 for 1 here on the Google trade. That was just a short-term scalp based on the move back down. It was actually not that great of a trade either. I should have been on it a little bit earlier. But the move back through VWAP, the 290 recaptured. Now we're going for the pre-market highs here on Google. We spoke about this when we talked about the 13F earlier. Probably going to go after 300. There we go. There we go.
IVVD still trying to push up to 3. I think it wants it. Let's see if we can get it.
Put that on screen here.
Looks like RPTX also above VWAP now, trying to hold above it. This one does have a little bit of a larger float, but we'll see if it can continue to go. Looks like 210 is the current high of the session.
Okay, let me check out the chat here. Marcus mentioning NBIS. I took that off my screen here. IVVD 13. I'm not in this. I don't see any entry. That's why I keep moving away from it.
For me, the entry was, when it came back down towards the 275 and found support. I think that was the entry. It didn't get hit to 75, but it got pretty close. 296 now. It's almost at the spot where I think that there's going to be some sellers. This $3 already has like a big seller in the way. So we'll see if the resistance happens there, or if they manage to get a large seller or a large buyer to come in and take that guy out. But $3 is next, and we're almost there.
Okay, Google looks like it's going for 293 next here. That did pull back a little bit, but looks like that is back on here. MBIS, this is what Marcus is looking at here today. MBIS, this is actually another nice move. So similarly, can we get above 87 here, Marcus? What do you have as the next level? Did you give that to me? Looking for $2 here on MBIS. I think you probably got that, right? You were talking about low 84s. You'll have to let me know. What do I think gold does? You know what? I don't really, I gotta think gold probably stabilizes. Maybe it comes in a little bit because I suspect the market's actually going to trade up at the end of the year here.
Next two levels that I have for IVVD, if we get past 3 here, 330 and then 360.
Okay. Micron also getting mentioned here. We just kind of talked about some of the storage there. Unsurprised to see Micron up another 5%. Is this a new all-time high?
I don't know, but like I was saying earlier, there's gonna look, and we can talk more about this off the show. But this whole space with NAND and flat and DRAM is going to be pretty explosive over probably the next 5 to 10 years. We can get into that some more, but there is you just got to start with looking at the prices for not only DDR5 memory but DDR4. Yeah, that's still coming. That's still being sold, and it's having its prices raised because of the demand. PC builders are going to be in a very tough spot. they might not even be able to build any rigs for a while because of how expensive things are going to get.
Oh, this is great. So we get a repeat of the graphics card shortage, except now with RAM. Awesome. Can't wait for that.
It's going to be like we'll get into this some more later, but I'll send you some stuff because wow. Anyway, so here we are, IVVT. I don't want to keep talking about it, but MU, MU is going to probably end up being really good over the next decade. So
I'll tell you what, that is still pushing higher here.
Yeah.
MU 260 now, massive move out of the open here.
ZYME, this is starting to get a lift here. We've got support from the 65, a little bit below the 65 EMA, but no closes beneath that. It's recaptured VWAP and some of the other EMAs. We just got to get over this $26 hump that we were outlining earlier, and we might have a little bit of a run here. We can get over 26.
Yeah, that's actually been a good move higher here. It's flirting with the VWAP right now. Amazon here. Amazon seeks $12 billion from first U.S. bond sale in 3 years. Amazon's down 1% here. It looks like it sold off out of the gate. Izzy, where's the buy spot? 231, you're low there? Where's the buy spot on this one?
IVVD did get over 3, just slightly. It hit 303. It's backing off now. We'll see if it can catch support around either 285 or the VWAP. Its volume is starting to slow down a little bit. It might do better a little bit later on this morning, but that was, I think, the big impulse move might have happened. We'll see. It just depends on what the volume looks like. But to me, it kind of looks like it's kind of waning a bit.
It pretty much ran to the pre-market high area and backed off that spot. Didn't quite test it. By the way, your ZYME rejected at the VWAP, pulling back a little bit. We'll see where that settles. That might give you some entry. And Micron looks like it pulled off that 260 spot after hitting it here.
AINX halt down. Yep, certainly it did. After that nice run up to 149, had a reversal candle. That's a shooting star. That ended up taking us beneath the VWAP. And now we're coming down to some support around 120. SGML, this one, this is the one that halted out of the gate. It came all the way down to the 200 EMA. It's getting a reversal here. It has to do, has a lot of work to do recapturing some of these levels, starting with the 65 EMA. But we are getting a little bit of some movement here. It might even have a tweezer reversal here, tweezer bottom. So we'll see if that ends up happening. It's still has the 65 EMA, all the EMAs we look at, and the VWAP to get back above. So that's the task it has ahead of it.
Okay. Okie dokie. QUBT, that was our quantum name here. What did that do? That pulled in a little bit. Let me check Rigetti. I can't believe I didn't hit that Rigetti short out of the gate here, but let's see what Rigetti's doing. We'll get another opportunity there. All right, Rigetti's trying to go higher here again. Okay.
Cam mentioning that Lithium Americas is up, and yeah, a lot of these lithium names are up this morning. We were just looking at another one.
Actually, is rolling here.
We were looking at another one here in the pre-market that was
that's LAC that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lithium Americas, got it.
Yeah, and let's see the other ones. I don't think I have that on my list anymore, but there was a mover this morning that was in the lithium space, and then LB was also up. That's up almost 7%. So wow, $23, 123. That's great. Love to see it.
God, I wanted that on a pullback too. I'm just unsure I'm even going to get that at this point.
Big level coming back up for Oklo, says Brian, if it wants $100 back. So let's take a look at Oklo. And
Bharat, real quick here, you had asked about that session on Thursday. Remember, on the SPY that day, we were a little bit of weakness into the open. We popped a little bit, and then we gave it up, and we just traded down the rest of the day. So today, we popped a little bit. We actually popped more today than we did on Thursday. We're slowing down here. If this totally breaks down, maybe you do get a repeat of that. I don't want to say I'm on that side just yet, though.
Oklo does look a little bit like it could have a short-term bounce that does see the other side of 100. I just don't know how long that's going to last. I have some real upside concerns about this.
Didn't
stuff.
you? I have a. Oh no, this is the trend line. This is the trend line. So we would have to recapture this.
Yeah, it's that too. I'm just a little concerned about this turning around. I think this could still go lower towards the 200-day SMA at 67.
Okay.
Well, actually, that's at 66.47, but I think 67 is also a pretty good looking support area.
Hey, Palantir starting to curl here. Netflix starting to curl, and Apple starting to curl. Amazon's still struggling a little bit. Bitcoin did trade up to 96K and backed off that spot.
Yeah. Who was asking that? Somebody was asking if there's no news on it. Mo, yeah, there's no news that I see on IVVD. The last piece of news that we had was from Friday. Those 13 Gs. So I don't see any other news than that. All right, so IVVD still up here. Looks like it wants to still try to get back above $3. If it manages to recapture $3, I already put the two other levels out there that it could go to 330 and 360.
And we have a poll up now. What do you think NVIDIA will do after earnings on Wednesday? Higher, lower, flat? Get your votes in. Thank you, producer. CYPH, we curled off the pre-market low, struggling with VWAP, but watch it here, 320 on CYPH.
Let's see here. Looks like IVVD still trying for 3. GLMD, as was getting mentioned here, this had a nice move through VWAP. It's coming back down to back test it. If we get support from VWAP, then this still has a chance to get up to the pre-market high of 165, maybe even more.
Okay.
XPEV missed revenue, says Jay. That's XPEV.
Yep.
They just didn't lose as much.
Tesla. Guys, Tesla. Massive, massive ramp. Did we have news? What a reversal here on Tesla. I'm seeing a massive, massive purchase here. This is for this week. Someone loaded up the 420 calls. LOL, guys. LOL, 420 calls getting bought here. Traders spent 1.32 million, sweeping up 2,000 plus. Friday, 420 calls Tesla.
I would kind of think that this has a lot to do with XPeng. This movement we're seeing in Tesla. This is big because now the robot play is or the robot theme is kind of very much in play right now. And now that you have a major China rival trying to build robots that pretty much look exactly the same as Optimus, I think that's good for Tesla. I think it's because they need a competition, but I think that's the reason why you're seeing this bullish movement here. I mean, wow, what a big reversal off.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm almost wondering. The Information had an article how Musk could tie together Tesla and XAI. I mean, I just assumed that was going to happen. Shame on me.
I'm still expecting them to tie that into SpaceX. When they try to send robots to Mars. Also,
that Stiefel boost, that price boost, they targeted the robo-taxis as being a game changer. So that's kind of interesting. Tesla with a huge reversal. I'll tell you what, that option trade, 1.32 million, sweeping up 2,000 plus 420 contracts expire on Friday. Wowzers.
Yeah, Marty, I still need to look into this a little bit more, but I'm sort of concerned about NVIDIA. We'll see. We'll see. I just, the things that I was looking into this weekend about, with the money moving around that doesn't really exist, and the RAM and the NAND and flash memory, a lot of things have me concerned. So, and I'll share some of that with you, Ryan. There's some videos that you can take a look at that kind of got me concerned. IVVD, by the way, trying to get through 3 right now.
And yeah, your CYPH, that's basically butting its head up against the 322 VWAP, cannot get through it. We'll see if that changes. My thought on NVIDIA is that we're probably going to see more rotation out of the big tech stalwarts that have kept us where we're at into other areas of the market, whether it's energy, financials, or consumer staples like we've talked about. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA puts up a good number and still just kind of sells off a little bit. I mean, we'll see what the guide has to say, but I would imagine it wouldn't be a terrible number.
I don't think it will, but all that that moving around of money, between OpenAI, AMD, and everything. I'm starting to get the sense, and some of you might have already figured this out a while back, but there's no money that's being moved around. These are all just IOUs. And I have real concerns about what happens when there's and the reason they did this, because they don't want there to be any supply chain hiccups. So they've all kind of invest or promised to invest in each other, so that if one company starts, having a shortage, another company can kind of
pick up the slack. Yeah,
exactly. What if it's kind of like a whole a whole shortage that kind of hits, materials that they need or something to that effect. It could take the whole thing down. And that's kind of the concern that I have. But maybe that doesn't happen. It's just, like I said, these are all concerns. These are not anything that's actually happening. It's just me being
CYPH, by the way, sorry, I wanted to ask Kathy about this. CYPH just broke the 322 VWAP and going higher. Crow, I know you were watching this one. Good stuff. Have a plan on that. I'm not in it. I didn't take that one this time. Really quick here, Kathy's saying NUVL and then saying it's hard to ignore the shift into biotechs. There's a clear rotation into biotechs. We've seen that. We've also seen some of that with the mergers and acquisition, Kathy. Here's my big sticking point with this. How do we know where to go next? Do we just chase these moves? Is there a theme that you've noticed where these are rotating into? How can we position ourselves to take advantage of that rotation?
Yeah, I would need to know why. Like why the rotation?
And I'm not, I fully admit, like that whole thing is not my wheelhouse. So I make many mistakes when I'm looking at that. But any insight you have on that? Because you're right. Price action is showing us exactly that. CYPH already back down to its VWAP. That was quick.
And I have a thought on some thoughts on why we're seeing this big rally on biotech, but I don't think that I've really nailed anything down concrete. So if there's an actual theme that we can latch onto that's causing all these biotechs to go, that's going to make it easier to find out which ones we want to be in.
Okay. All right, 13. I got really excited around the open there. I'll be right back.
Well, he does. Do I still trade Zim? So the thing about Zim, no, I don't. To short answer your question there, but the thing about Zim is that their whole when we were trading it, their whole thing was, they make money off of high shipping rates. And we were really keeping an eye on shipping rates during the time that we were trading it in 2023 and 2024, because when they negotiate contracts in the first couple of quarters of the year, they base it off the rates. And so if the rates are high, they typically end up doing really, really well with their revenue. And that a lot of that revenue gets passed on to shareholders, as I'm sure you're aware. And back when we had, I think it was in like 2021 or 2022, when we had shipping rates absolutely skyrocket. That's when that was at its height. So I don't know if I'm really noticing that shipping rates are coming back. I haven't been focused on that for a while, but if shipping rates are starting to rise again as we approach the first 2 quarters of next year, where they start to negotiate those contracts, then Zim might actually be really attractive. So it's something to definitely keep an eye on that I'll have to make sure I monitor. But no, to answer your question, I'm not trading Zim at the moment. SLI, Standard Lithium moving, as is a lot of these lithium names today.
All right.
So that's up. Wow, that's up 15% today. This is another lithium name that's up, and Albemarle continues to climb, as does Lithium Americas. So that's now over 11%. So lithium becoming very, very hot right now, and I think that's all because of the whole battery thing that we've been talking about. But it also could have something to do with supply chains, critical minerals, things like that.
By the way, news out there, Besant said that he expects a critical minerals deal done with China by Thanksgiving. That's next week.
Okay.
So I don't know.
We'll see.
Might play into that trade.
We will see. Let's see. Can you get your hot take on critical minerals? Got on a small pullback in October that turned into a much larger pullback with the China news. Yeah, so the whole critical minerals thing, just not the company, but just in general, is all around that rhetoric between the U.S. and China trade tensions. So, with Besant saying that there's going to be a for sure deal happening about Thanksgiving time, then there's probably not going to be a trade here in the mineral space. But if these talks with China break down, or if they don't honor their agreement, or whatever the situation is, then I think the play is back on. I think that's as simple as it is. So I don't know if we're going to see some upside anytime soon. We're certainly not going to be back up at 32 anytime soon, unless those trade tensions arise again. As far as the price action for critical minerals, I still think that this might end up coming down around maybe even 750. Could be somewhere in the sevens if this finally finds a bottom, because it doesn't seem like it's quite established one yet.
Real quick here. Cash register ring for Marcus, who has been talking about MBIS since it started to trade up here. You think your target was 92? Boy, we're kind of close to that. Nice break here, actually at resistance. This is Friday's intraday high right around 89. MBIS, good rip out of the open here, Marcus. This might be going higher. ONDS, on the other hand, not great. Not good price action for what we want to see. I'm not panicked or anything like that or worried, but that, man, what a rough move. Up after the news, big time selling pressure. We'll see if this can close back above the trend line. Looks like the 50-day moving average there at 744. Out of the question, at least so far. See how this shakes out the rest of the day here.
Is he mentioning IMRX ripping? And
I'm going to refresh Pro real quick.
Was also saying that ANVS is nice. Hey, no problem, Cam. You got it. All right, so AMIX, that's kind of been I more or less sideways. Hasn't really been able to get above 150 out of the gate here. We did go from 120 when we opened up to almost 150, but pretty much just back and forth, chopping around ever since. Really need to see that break over 150, and then we could probably get some more movement here. Let's see where this would take us. Could be $2 if we get a break of that 150. Not sure, but maybe.
IREN on the scanner here. IREN, which has been real tough since its earnings, down here in a 40 handle, actually looks like a 50 test might be coming. IREN has been straight up out of the gate. Bitcoin is actually falling from that 96K high. IREN looking all right here. And good Lord, Google continuing. Google now 294, it looks like. What happened here? Google 294. Looks like I ran from that one just a tad early, but that's okay because that was still a pretty good day trade right ahead of the resistance area there. Google looking pretty good here. 300 next, I think.
All right. So just looking through some of these other movers here.
You can stop looking. Just stop looking. Stop talking. Producer here is saying that we're under 100 likes, which is insane. So you know what, 13? I'm just going to need you to keep your thoughts to yourself till we can get above that 100 like level. I'm sorry, man. It's not me. It's not me. It's the group. I'm trying to modify the Seinfeld reference there, but let's see if we can at least get those likes above 100. Producer, what's happening? What's happening? Enjoy the sounds of silence until we get above 100. I'm just kidding, 13. Go ahead.
I'm just looking around at some of these things that are moving back up. Looks like RGTZ provided a nice, buying opportunity when it, started selling off here. It still hasn't recaptured the VWAP, but this could end up going lower. But it's looking like it's trying to recover.
Now, let me ask you: when you're looking at RGTI to kind of go along with this trade 13, are you also paying attention to what the broader market is doing, or are you basically just looking at the underlying? Like, for example, we had a huge bounce here in the SPY and the Nasdaq. Seems to be slowing down. Maybe it rolls over a little bit here. Do you think quantum moves with it?
Being that a lot of the market's heavily weighted to tech, I can see that when the market turns down, that it's going to affect quantum. So I would say yes. But I typically just focus on Rigetti. I don't want to have too many
just on the other. Okay, and that's fair because those quantums have been kind of disconnected from that anyway. So I just want to know what you were looking at.
Yeah, so I just want to focus on the underlying. I've got a lot of drawings on there that kind of help me out with getting in and out of Rigetti. RGTZ. So that's all I've been using. Right now we're not having really that much of a day in Rigetti compared to what we've done in the past. So maybe that picks up later on. But right now it's just kind of trying to recover.
And look how quickly that was. Sir Benny Blanco says it's over 100 on my screen.
Perfect.
Now I'm seeing from Crow 160, 170. You folks, that's all it took. So there we go.
All right, Ryan's happy. Let's start talking.
Dude, look. Let me just be very clear. I woke up happy. I woke up, and before I could really even get all of the crap out of my eyes, I looked at my phone, which I conveniently left at the NFC North standings last night. And indeed, when I woke up this morning and refreshed the page, the Bears were in sole possession of first place, and I was like, "Yeah, today's going to be a good one. We're not going to get mad at all here today." So that's where we're at.
AMIX popped up to 155 and then it came back in. What's up?
You're just not even having any of that. Which is fine. It's good and fine. And
there are more pressing matters.
There are more pressing matters. Yasso Fine says, let's do a giveaway. You know what?
Do it.
Should we?
Sure.
Should we do an impromptu giveaway here? I might get in trouble. Nobody tell on me, but let's see. Who wants a month free of Pro?
Oh, jeez.
Should we give away a month of free of Pro here?
Well, here's the thing. If they get a free month of Pro, then that's a free month of you coming into happy hour and talking with us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I should do this.
And getting a whole bunch of insights, and you get access to other rooms that are trading. I mean, it's going to be a great time. And you have a lot of information, especially the most
all right,
news
so here's the thing. So here's the thing. I didn't get approval from the higher ups for this. So I'm going to be jeopardizing myself by doing this. But I think I might be able to talk my way out of getting fired. Producer, let me know where we're at with the likes. If we can get that up a little bit more, I'll do this. I'll take the risk and do this. Okay, we got a lot of good response here from this. That's good. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe we'll try this. We'll do a little I know it's not Thanksgiving week yet. We'll try right now. Producer, let me know where we're at, and then let's set a target that's attainable on the likes, and then let's see if we can get this done.
Don't get fired.
Don't get fired. Look, Kenneth is right. I don't want to. I think I will be able to. I think I'll be able to talk my way around this one. I really do.
Zach, every day that well, I don't think today because Ryan has a dentist appointment, but every day that we have Pro, there's going to be a teal link at the bottom of the page that you can click and sign up for the Zoom call. If that's not showing up, we can. Do you want to try to have somebody help him get that set up in settings?
Yeah. Who is this?
This is Zach Van Dusen.
Okay, so real quick, Zach, the setting menu that he's talking about, I'll do this real fast. If you click on the profile icon and you click on settings, you have to make sure that on this settings homepage here, when it loads, oh, come on. I'm just trying to demonstrate something here. You have to make sure that this info bar is checked on. This info bar is the scrolling ticker at the bottom. About 30 minutes before happy hour, this will populate with something to click on for you. But if you have this option off, you probably never see it. So make sure this option is on. As 13 mentioned, there is not going to be a happy hour today because I have an appointment. This is the only time I could get in before Thanksgiving, which I absolutely needed to do. So I'm sorry about that. So there's no happy hour today, but we will be back for that on Tuesday. Guys, I have not said put ones in the chat. Why am I getting flooded with ones? We're not doing it yet.
They're ready. They're ready. Let's see here. Just kind of looking for some of the things that are moving here. Looks like we're still getting a little bit more upside with RGTZ. AMIX that's trying to recover from the loss of the VWAP. Although I'm not liking the way the MACD's looking like the momentum is starting to swing to the downside. So we'll see if that ends up happening. SGML. This is just continued to go up ever since getting support from the 200 EMA, but it is doing it slowly. So it's now up at the 65 EMA, still has not recaptured VWAP, which is at 8. GNS not doing much. ZYME kind of pulled a little bit there. RPTX, this is not doing a whole lot either. IVVD, still need to see that reversal at VWAP. CMBD looks weak as well. GLMD, this looks like it's trying to recover from the selling, but it's got to hold this 200 and the 65 EMAs here on the 5-minute. Otherwise, we are going to go back down to where it started.
Okay, I was just rolling through some other tickers there. Don't look great. This ONEG looks like that's getting halted to the downside. Ondas continuing to pull back too. Ondas now down 6.5% after being higher in the pre-market. That's no bueno. We'll see if that turns around. Didn't we trade this one last week? Turns Pharma, another one in that pharmaceutical biotech area that Kathy was talking about.
We have traded them. I don't know if it was last week, but we have traded them before. Absolutely. Yeah, and lithium names. I was just looking at that. Lithium names still going. We did get a brief pullback, but Lithium America is now higher than when we last looked at it. Moral still about the same. And then there was one other one.
Albemarle calls getting bought here too. These aren't big though. This is 100. It's all right. That's nothing to turn your nose up at. Albemarle calls getting bought while this thing's still at the highs.
I'm not selling it until 200. Okay. Yeah, nothing's looking really particularly great right now, as far as the movers go from this morning, except for the lithium names, of course.
Yeah,
going.
I'm trying to see if there's anything on the unusual options here. More meta puts. Looks like they bought almost $1 million worth of meta puts there. These expire January 15th, 2027. And these are the 630 puts on Meta. Wonder if they're selling those puts.
KXIN, penny stock going. Both Wiss and Crow are saying that. Lots of sellers. Yeah, there are a lot of sellers today. Lithium Argentina, LAR. That's also up now. Lithium is up. Lithium is up bigly.
Here's LAR.
LAR has resistance coming at 550, but we've already been up there once in October. Got rejected. The next visit could be one that takes it through 550. And then you'll want to see that hold above 550. Yeah, I'll make sure I always take your gains. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of slowdown in this market. SGML still doing well though. This has been one of the this halted down out of the open for the first 10 minutes. This wasn't very good, but since then it's been pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
I still have its VWAP at 805, so maybe a cross of that 805. Rigetti here, by the way, that's back down. Is that actually under its VWAP? No, it basically bounced off its VWAP here, Rigetti. Palantir, that held 170 so far here today. And Tesla did not quite move to that 420, but God, it got close.
Yeah, Mo, if Amex can't get support here, then I think that it could come in lower. I would be looking down around 115 for next support. And even then, I'm not sure I like that. It still looks like it wants to come down to $1 if it can't hold the 9 EMA. I'm sorry, the 15 EMA here.
Amanda says, I'm completely out of Onda's sold calls and stock. I'm starting over by selling an in-the-money put. I guess what strike and expiry is that. But Amanda, really good stuff, and I appreciate you sharing all of these alternative ways to use the options market to trade this. Very, very awesome. Very, very awesome stuff. Rigetti is bouncing here, so RGTZ coming in a little bit. MBIS above that 89 level that we talked about.
All right.
KSSG saying, where do you see the unusual options trades? Is that in Scanner? So this is a good question. It looks like it's in Scanner because I have the tool aligned right beneath the Scanner, but what this actually is the calendar tool. So if I start over here, if you create a new workspace and you click on calendar, it will default probably to the earnings calendar. If from here you select unusual option activity, you actually get that same feed that I have. Now I have the tool rearranged and slimmed down a little so it fits into my workspace. I've also applied a filter for a minimum size of 100 contracts per line item. That's more for me about determining flow. I'm not as interested when someone buys 6 contracts, even if they are expensive ones. So that's the only filter that I have, but I use the calendar set to unusual option activity. This gives me the ability to filter the content that I see, which you do not get from signals. Good question.
HYMC. I don't think we looked at this one today, but this has some pretty substantial news. They have a company that picked up 1.5 million shares at an average price of 8.75, and this thing is ripping.
Which one is this, by the way?
This is HYMC.
HYMC, okay.
Funky Cold Stocks. I used a 5-minute. The 65 EMA can work across all time frames, but for trading, I use a 65 on the 5-minute. So yeah, IVVD. This might make another move up through VWAP here if we get some. I'm sorry, through 3 if we get some more volume expansion here. And
okay. Do we have any trade setups right now, or is now an opportune time to do this giveaway that I teased?
You probably can do it right now. There's not a whole lot that's looking great, but
okay.
The one I just mentioned, HYMC, that's starting to pull a little bit here, but I don't think a lot of these are finished yet. And you might just have this pocket of time to just get it out. So let's
okay. This is what we're going to do then. Folks, this is a good idea, XIII, and we're around the holiday season, so we might as well do this. The only thing that I foresee happening here that's bad, again, I can probably talk my way out of getting fired, but the only thing that I see here that's bad, I'm only giving away one of these. We're probably going to have a lot of entrants. So those that don't win, don't get mad. You can always buy it. Black Friday's coming. And yeah, we'll see if we can do these. So if you are interested in a free month of Pro, today is your lucky day. Flood the chat with 67s. I want 6-7. You have to have both numbers. You can't have just one or the other number. You can't put 6 and then put 7 on a new line. It's got to be 67. You got to do it now. Let's get it done. We'll give this away. I'm going to let this chat fill up with some 67s. We're going to flood the chat. Then we're going to give this away. I will go ahead and set this up.
Why are we doing 67?
I just picked a random number from the zeitgeist that's out there, and 67 was the first one that came to mind.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. We've got a bunch of entries in there. Let me randomize this chat, spin it up. Spin it up. XIII, I see what you're doing. You're trying to enter 67 800 times so that I click on you, but that's not going to work because I'm randomizing the list. Randomizing the list here. All right, here we go. Jammin', right? Jammin' 57. You are a winner. Do me a favor. Don't email David Green. He can't help you with this one. Instead, email me directly. I'm going to throw my email in the chat. Jammin', you are a winner. There's my email. I'm going to pin this one. Shoot me an email. I will get your account created today. Congrats. This was a good idea, folks. I will see if I can do this more often. If I can ensure that I didn't piss off the top brass, this won't be the last time we do this.
Fantastic. Oh, Bernard saying he has a lifetime because of a happy hour chat.
Yeah, Bernard joins us every day.
Yep. We love to have him there.
Really good idea. Happy Monday. I'll tell you what, guys, Victory Mondays are good things around here, folks. Be sure to shoot me an email. I'll get you your account created today.
I am trying still to find something that's getting going here. It looks like GLMD just briefly got a pop-up to the VWAP here. This one might get going, so keep an eye on that. Other ones that are still going here. We did get a pullback from HYMC that we just mentioned. That went up to 1099 and came off of that level. Still hasn't turned around and gone down. Still all green candles out in the regular session. This one might try to push higher. CMBM, this is down near its open.
That one earlier.
Yeah, this is down near its open and still trying to recover. That's not looking great. IVVD, we need to see a move off this VWAP here pretty soon. That takes it back up to 3, or else this might also start to come back in. RPTX, that's trying to push higher. Volume's not looking great. GNS, this looks like it's still going to continue lower. It's under $1 now. ZYME, doesn't look like there's really a whole lot of volume there. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. It's kind of going sideways at the moment, but it is still above the VWAP. And then SGML, this is probably one of the better ones this morning. And it's trying to break through 8 right now, which is where VWAP is. This, halted to the downside out of the gate, went all the way down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute and reversed. And it's been just a big reversal ever since. Now we're back up at VWAP trying to recapture that level. Not sure if we're going to break through or not. We need to see better volume in order to get to that 42,000 share seller.
This ZYME, this not breaking down. I know the volume is compressing a little bit here, and it's really struggling to get above the VWAP, and all of that's good stuff. It's right near the VWAP. But with this not breaking down, even if you don't trade this here or you don't see a setup, maybe keep it on your radar in case this gets one of those afternoon pumps. Ryan So Fine says, thank you, Ryan, for the giveaway. It was fun. We're actually children, so I got excited. Well, you're in luck because your host here is a borderline child who refuses to grow up. I love stuff like that, too. And I will keep trying to do that to, just better the community here, make it fun and all of that. Amanda here says, holy cow, guys, I'm going to give you a 17. That's about how much you can get AM trades for each month on Pro and all the other stuff. Just go buy it. It's cheaper than your last penny stock loss. That's so true. I mean, that just hits all of the fields across the board.
Oh, yeah, look at that. We're getting a mention of SGBX, another
also getting a mention of PAX here. Good mention, Lombardo. Sorry, I got to this a little bit slowly. It looks like this has had multiple legs up. Did this happen on news? Yes. They intend to release their third quarter earnings and submit SEC filings on November 19th. Okay. Why is that causing the stock to run 40%?
I'm sorry, SGBX is not. That's a container one, I think. Right? SGBX, where it converts containers into buildings.
Let me check. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this PAX move. This is a good mention, but I don't have anything here. But yes, this one's also super low float, if I recall. Yep. Yes.
Yep, that's the one. All right. So it looks like IVVD trying to recover, but man, a lot of these are just looking like they kind of fell asleep. Folks, well, you know, actually, Ryan, we need to get some kind of clock. Because it seems like we're getting a little bit of late entries into that giveaway.
That's okay. Late entries are fine. You know, there's a delay here, and sometimes the delay is different depending on people's connection and the whole 9 yards. So we'll be okay with that. We'll be okay with that. Next time, hopefully one of those people that were a little late is actually a winner. Real quick here, Nathan saying, my wife is a math teacher, and all of her students always try to trick her into saying 6-7. Can't wait to show her this. I can't wait for you to show her this too. I would really like to know what her reaction is to that. I just picked a random number. I'm glad. It looks like I picked the right one today.
And then take that information, have her take it to her class, and be like, "Guess what? My husband won a free subscription using 67."
Yeah, and just don't tell her that he didn't actually win, but just pretend.
That's
SGBX,
right.
By the way, this broke out of this formation here. It's going towards 3. Timely mention on that. Judge, take care of yourself, buddy.
Take care, Judge. GLMD, this is trying to hit the VWAP, trying to push through it. We need more volume to get through that, but it is up there right now. We'll see what happens. IVVD, still not sure if this is going to C3 again. It's not breaking down beneath VWAP, but we're not really getting a whole lot of volume in it either, just at the moment. I'm just kind of looking around, seeing what's looking good. And that SGML, we're still trying to get through that $8 VWAP. Looks like we're still trying to hit that seller that's in the way too.
GLMD just retook its VWAP again. The last time it did this, it pulled all the way back. Yeah, yep. Tuna, and I know what you're saying here. You're talking about the pennies here. I blame myself. The whole thing with the penny stocks is that it feels like, at least in my experience, that they trade a little bit differently. And so because I do a poor job, I just move away from it. Not to say that money can't be made there. Of course. And I don't mean to put them down. If you're making money off of that, keep doing it. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying for my own experience, I haven't done well. You guys impress me every day with your ability.
Don't listen to the guy that bought ONDS at under $1.
Well, okay. But I'm just saying, like every day, like I don't really have a repeatable process on these penny stocks that I feel good about. I felt really good about trading Google here today because for me, that was obvious that was going to trade up out of the gate. At least I thought so. So I took the risk there. But with penny stocks, sometimes I'm not sure about this news. I'm not sure. It feels like they trade a little bit differently. Maybe they're pumps. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I don't mean to disparage people that are trading that. That is not my intention at all.
GLMD. I know that folks have been mentioning and even you said as soon as this gets a close over the VWAP, the next candle tends to come back in. There's still a trend line here that I'd be curious to see if we get enough volume, if we can take it out. You see it too. I think volume is just really the missing component here with GLMD. CMBM, on the other hand, this is still trying to hold above the 200 EMA. Tested beneath that multiple times, still trying to hold above it. IVVD still sideways. I'm not liking a whole lot of other names here. HYMC, still not a single red candle in sight this regular session. Currently up at 1085, trying to deal with this seller that's in the way. I don't know if it's got the volume to get through it right now. Maybe we'll finally see this thing turn around if it can't do it.
I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but Rigetti kind of showing like it might be trying to go higher. I don't know if it's going to. Here's your GLMD chart. This back at the VWAP.
I mean, Rigetti is was pretty oversold. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a bounce, but I'm kind of curious to see what happens if it does come back up. What kind of price action we get at 28, the bottom of that sideways channel.
CYPH again moving through the VWAP. Let's see if it stops here. 334. The last time it moved through the VWAP, this is where it stopped. We'll see if that happens again. CYPH. The volume also ticked up a little bit here.
Oh yeah. There's also. Let's see how good this looks. Okay, so we kind of got a little bit of a false. No, maybe we didn't. There was a trend line that I saw with CYPH. We did break out of it about 20 minutes into the regular session, but then we came back beneath it, and then we broke out of it again. This 330.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, this 330, 335 area, that's the big resistance. That's been support and resistance all pre-market and in the regular session. Resistance until we got that 705 breakout that took it up to 383. And then it was support on the way back down, but we lost it almost immediately. So I think that's a pretty important spot there, that 330, 335 area.
Wiss mentioning that PAX is getting interesting. This thing has just been straight up out of the open here. I don't see any entry on this, and I'm certainly not going to chase that. IVVD came back to its VWAP and bounced. Let's see what the 3 test brings us. And speaking of penny stocks, just to show that there's no hate here, KXIN, this one is your penny stock of the day. This popped up in the pre-market, actually set some new highs here and pulled back. I've got VWAP at 47 cents. We'll see if that holds there. GLMD pulled away from its VWAP and moved beneath it.
Still a pattern happening there, but we aren't losing the 65 or the 200 EMAs yet. So as long as those hold up, there's still a chance that this can take out that trend line that we drew. But it's got to do that. It's got to hold above those EMAs, I think.
Here's SGBX back above 3. Tesla pulled off the high. Onda's still getting pounded. Amazon down here 229.
Finally, a red candle in HYMC. This might be going sideways or starting to roll over. CMBM, that's up close to the VWAP again after coming down to its 200 EMA and reversing.
Ethereum, ETHA, this on the scan. Oh, this is curling up off the bottom.
SGBX.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All of Bitcoin struggling. Here's your SGBX. Sorry, 13.
Yeah, that's this is looking like this is trying to get through some of the sideways price action we had on Thursday. There was some resistance up around 350. If that manages to get above 350, we're hitting 4.
Okay.
Just like we did on Thursday, we had this. I don't know if you still have the drawings on there, but there's a trend line that we were looking at to break, and it went up to 398, and that was the high. It came back in and went sideways. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was this trend line from the pre-market highs, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. It's looking like it's coming towards 350. That would be the first resistance area. If it manages to get through 350, then it should see 4.
And let's take a very quick look at the SPY intraday chart because we talked about that one earlier. So let's see if the 667 comes back into play. I know we bounced once here. It looks like we're rolling back over. 669 to the downside maybe takes us to that 667. We'll see.
Big pull in SGBX after hitting 318, coming back down towards VWAP. Lots of sellers above 3, by the way, big time.
Yeah, and I see a couple of you mentioning this. Don't be afraid to take your gains here. If you get gains on some of these small ones, take them. Really, the only one that kept running here was Google, and even that might have slowed down now. Let me check.
Data vault getting mentioned with a rocket, so that must mean it's going up.
Yeah, Google did come back here. So I didn't quite nail the top. Looks like this actually went another $1.50 from where I sold it, but nonetheless, that was a pretty decent trade out of the open there.
So Data Vault, what they had earnings today, or was that on Friday, and they just had their conference call? It looks like there was a conference call today. Let me see here. They had earnings today. Okay, they had earnings. That's why I think it's up. Must have been something favorable that was said there. They signed a multi-year services agreement with Triton Geothermal, so that probably could be one of the things that's causing it to move, or their news about them receiving up to $8 million in tokenization fee under the tokenization service agreement with Triton. It's something. And here we go with GLMD. Take us over that trend line.
Tell you what, nasty action here. This pretty crazy back and forth here. The trend line coming up.
Yeah. Yep. Just need some more volume, and it could take out that trend line. If it does, 165 is the resistance. That's from the pre-market. It looks like GNS is trying to turn around as well. Volume needs to be better, so I'm not sure how great that's going to be.
Yasofine says, Ryan, you should have asked for more likes. Yasofine, that's okay. Tomorrow is another day. Jammin, you should let me know what your email is. What your name on the email is. Let me know so I can get that set up for you today.
Oh, thanks, Ryan Summerall. Data Vault raised expectation of 30 million too. So it seems like it's getting a bunch of different catalysts here that's pushing it higher. Super choppy 15-minute chart. Yeah, GLMD is very choppy, but that trend line is kind of interesting. I would like to see some better volume in it because I do think that if we do get that volume that we're looking for, we're going to see a break of this trend line.
Mara, this had multiple 19 call buys. Those were in size here. Mara's down here at 19, having kind of a weak day.
This thing heavily shorted.
Yeah.
IVVD, we're here back up at the doorstep at 3 again. If we get a volume push here, this will take us over 3, hopefully, and keep us over 3.
Let me put IVVD on the screen here. So I was looking away. GLMD trying to break that trend line.
Yep. Let's see that volume. Let's see it. Let's see it. They dropped big tokenization. Was it the same tokenization news that we got this morning with their earnings?
Here's GLMD right at that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so funny.
It's right at the trend. It is funny. It's actually become amusing at this point. Izzy asking, is Ondas going to bounce back at? I don't know, man. I would imagine 620 probably is about. That's where we kind of opened, right? 617, 620 is where we opened on Friday ahead of that news. I think you probably have some profit takers on this one. Still, nonetheless, not disparaged by the action here because it's still good news. That exactly the type of stuff that we wanted.
Okay, so not the same tokenization news, but is it? I'd have to go and look myself. But is it like similar to the tokenization that happened today with their whatever that geo company is, geothermal? Is it kind of similar? Just let me know. I don't need to. Oh, whole explanation. NBIS has tested that 89 level 3 times. Let's look at NBIS.
All right.
Seems
you
like
want to take a look at NBIS, right?
Yeah, it's at that 89 level 3 times. Now you might be looking at a different time frame. If you're looking at like a 15-minute time frame, that's probably what you're seeing. But it's looking like we're hitting it on the 5-minute chart a lot more than that.
Yeah,
we're trying to push through it right now. Seems like it's closer to 90 is where the resistance starts to kick in. But could happen as early as 89.15.
This 89 area, I basically derived this strictly from Friday's intraday highs. So I think a pop above this probably sends it to and through that 90. I think Marcus was looking at a 92 target earlier. Frozen King says 89.50 is his buy spot.
Okay. SGBX, after that pull, it's trying to recover. SGML, probably one of the better ones that we could have traded today. Out of that gate, that was awful, but since then it's been really good. It's now back above VWAP, and it's trading higher than the open now. Really nice move there by SGML. And interestingly, it should be up higher anyway with these other lithium names, but it is what it is.
Maybe some more room here in SGML.
It very well could be. Seems like it's a little late to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal. Man, just you know what? We are in the season. I might have to. There's a lot. There's obviously a football game tonight, and then there's some stuff tomorrow with Oak Island and the Hawks game. But soon this week, we might have to start with Home Alone and Die Hard for our Christmas movie rotation. MBIS, did we get above 89?
We're above 89. We're testing the high of
Let's go,
89.65.
Marcus, this was a money call this morning. Marcus has been on this from the get-go today.
Looks like RPTX still trying to hold it. Well, it just recaptured VWAP.
Market trying to bounce here. And let's also put our hands together for the producer with a really good joke here. Circle back at its IPO day price of 78.67. You could say it came full circle. There we go, producer. Love the dad jokes. They're rubbing off.
It's a well-rounded joke.
Take that.
Smoke Tuna is saying RPTX, don't look away. Keep watching what's holding VWAP. So RPTX, it does look like it's trying to push higher. We just see it's one of those that needs that volume component.
And then the GLMD stopped at the trend line. Hilarious. RPTX.
Well, that's okay with GLMD. What we don't want to see happen now is a loss of that VWAP. If we come back down to the VWAP and we get that support, I think that we're going to still want to keep an eye on that trend line. HYMC did get a little bit of a pull down to the 9 EMA, but it reversed. It's kind of back in that sideways area it's been in for the past 20 minutes. And SGBX damn near recovered everything off that pullback. Lots of slowdown here. Ryan, under Amazon might happen, says Izzy.
I don't know what that means. I read that too, but I wasn't sure what it meant, so I just moved on to wish my buddy a happy birthday.
Do you consider Trading Places to be a Christmas movie?
No. Should I? Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. I mean, NBIS is about to hit the high of the regular session. I don't necessarily think so.
Told me not to take RPTX off the screen. So
okay. Well,
he literally told me that.
I don't necessarily think it's a movie just because it had part of the movie set in Christmas. Because I don't think it was entirely during the Christmas season, was it? Remember
that's the thing. Die Hard takes entirely takes place on Christmas Eve. So
it takes entirely. It's an evening. I don't know how long. Okay, here we go with GLMD. This is pretty much what we were looking for here. This came down to the VWAP, got support. This might be the move we've been waiting for. We just need to see that volume expand and have it take us through that VWAP. I'm sorry, not VWAP, the trend line. It's bouncing off VWAP. Just need that volume. SGML continues to slowly grind higher. And RPTX, just waiting for that volume to take us higher.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I see why tuna's on this chart. Mm-hmm. Like it really doesn't want to break down, and any volume pop likely sends this through 220, 230, the after hours high there.
Cam, I did cooking this weekend. I had a Friendsgiving.
Ooh, that you told us about that last week. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And so far, my wife has used the leftover turkey to make to use a muffin rack to make these little individual turkey pot pies with the leftovers.
Yeah, so that's so awesome. So my friend that does the whole Thanksgiving dinner, she does the same thing. Repurposes them into turkey sandwich and turkey pot pies is phenomenal. GLMD fell.
Yep. It pulled. Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Right to the VWAP.
Yep. So not yet. We don't want to see this break down all the way down to under 120. Yeah,
Mo had asked here, are sellers getting tired on GLMD? Well, like 13 said, it appears not yet, not quite yet.
No, but as long as they can hold above VWAP, which it looks like they're in the process of losing, we just don't want to see this go underneath 120.
God, on this definitely not the type of action you want to see here.
Lots of pulling across the whole market. It seems SGBX pulling, NBIS pulling. It looks like everything's kind of getting a pull here.
Ondas down 12%, and this is so we talked about maybe 620. This is kind of brutal. This is even really on terrible volume. They're just all sellers here. Just all sellers here. Look at that. Basically, right back down to Friday's open, 620.
Yeah,
Crow did buttered chicken yesterday. Let's go, Crow.
There's like one seller that's dragging this down right now, just kind of walking it down.
Yeah,
the whole market looks like it's getting a bit of a pull here.
Yep, wild.
So that's probably why we didn't get that GLMD to work. The whole market pulled.
Yeah, and the SPY, by the way, we talked about that bouncing. Let me actually throw that on the chart here too. That initial bounce got sold. Second bounce produced a lower high. So maybe we do roll over and test the 667, then 665.
Yeah, SGBX, that one losing the VWAP. That's a real ugly pull too. But it could be brief. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, nothing really too exciting right now. CMBM, that's not looking good. This is down to some of the near the lows of the session.
So this is the offering that you're talking about on Ondas, Glenn?
They did an offering today?
That's what I'm trying to figure out here. This SEC form is from today.
Oh, okay.
So 4 million, about 4.1 million shares.
Well, that might be a buying opportunity then. Let's see what happens down around 6. Let's see if we get some support at 6, because this thing is really starting to get a little bit oversold intraday.
Yeah, and don't forget, the last time this thing had an offering, it got pounded again, and then that offering got bought.
Yep.
And so to your point here about that, 13. Yeah, I'll read through this a little bit more carefully when I have some more time, but good mention there, Glenn. Sorry, I know you mentioned that a couple of times. Let's see what happens here. Again, last time this thing had an offering, same thing happened, but it got bought back up shortly after that. And 13's right. Intraday, this thing definitely oversold. Okay, but we have other stuff to take a look at here as well. SGML, that lithium name, that's trying to push away from the VWAP. How did CYPH do? Yikes, that came back into the VWAP, broke away and lost it. GLMD broke the VWAP. See, this looks like this is trying to settle here at the 15 EMA. See if it bounces from that.
Is there a broader market piece of news that's causing everything to come in?
Let me see.
Let's take a look. Commerce extends Trump's AI exports program deadline. That's the most
but there's also some Fed comments here.
Lots of Fed
Jefferson
talk,
did not think crypto and other innovations will influence the Fed's ability to do monetary policy. That wouldn't drag it down.
No. Something that Jefferson
Tension between
said.
mandates. That's from Fed's Jefferson.
It would take a second to read through all this and figure out which one might have the most weight here. Might have something to do with the China Defense Ministry, trying to urge the U.S. not to sell arms to Taiwan. I don't know. It could be a number of things. I don't know which one is causing it. It could be all of them.
Yeah, that's interesting, though. But I'll tell you what, just kind of looking at the level here, we didn't really break down through any of those other downside levels that we highlighted at the beginning of the show. I think if we stay above them, probably all right.
So looks like GLMD hasn't quite gotten down to 120 yet, but I'm a little concerned about that one. HYMC, this looks like this is going to come in some more, maybe down to the VWAP. SGBX, that doesn't look great either. I'm not sure that we're going to see a whole lot of recovery on this. If it recaptures VWAP, then maybe, but it's trading beneath it right now, so I'm not sure.
It could be the 6. You're right, Nathan. It could be the 6-7 giveaway that caused the correction. I'm going to have a lot of questions to answer if that's the case, buddy. I mean,
damn it, Ryan, pull the market down.
I'm going to have people capital MAD mad. If that's the case, Nathan, let's hope that's not the case. Ask your wife though what she thinks about that. If maybe that is what did it. Maybe that's why she was being smart and holding off from getting her students to get her to say 6. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe she knew.
6-7.
You guys are fun. You guys are a lot of fun, guys and gals.
But it could also be that it's just that time of the day where the volume leaves the market. It is past 10:30. So lots of people getting up from their desks and getting out of positions, going and having lunch. But look at GLMD. We haven't gotten down to 120. It's recovering the VWAP.
Look at that.
So maybe still possible for a breakthrough here.
So this just kind of goes all the way back to some of the stuff that we've been talking about with some of these movers, whether they're penny stocks or just some of the small junkers. What we see, the environment that we seem to be in is that buying the breakouts, like trying to buy a breakout of this trend line, not going to work. Really buying on support has been where any of that profit comes. GLMD doing a really good job showing that here. In this case, the 15 EMA looks to be the support level.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks, if you missed the giveaway.
Marcus was here. He was here the whole time. He's been shouting out NBIS levels. I think he's just trying to get me to give away another one. Like I said, let me just make sure my job is still intact, and then we'll talk about doing more of them. I should be all right, but again.
Well, so far the only thing that's looking really good is RGTZ. Other than that, maybe HYMC, as long as it holds the 9 EMA. Although I'm not really sure we're going to see a whole lot of more upside out of this at the moment. Maybe later on today.
That was HYMC, you said, huh?
Yeah, because it started rolling over. It caught some support from the 9 EMA, although I'm not sure that that's really strong. The volume just doesn't look great. So maybe some of these names, they come back later today, as we've seen happen a lot of times when the volume comes back into the market. Right now, it's not looking too good. AMIX, though.
Yeah, AMIX. That was the one I was just going to look at.
That's still trying to come back up towards the VWAP here. VWAP I have at 134, almost 135.
Glenn, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I'm here. I'm looking at this Ondas chart, and I'm like, man, can we get like slightly below 6 for the close, for the December contract close, so I don't have to have my stock called away? I get to keep the premium that I collected and then have it bounce. Could I ask for that? Because that would be too awesome if that's how it actually worked.
I think ONDS looks like it has a pretty good spot at 6.
We'll see.
With the
really
chart
good
shows
volume point of control there too. Looking at the volume profile, that $6 levels to 6.25 looks pretty good.
It might be more apparent if you use like a 15-minute time frame. You can see how 6 has kind of been support and resistance. So it was like last week there was a period where it was resistance. The price couldn't get back above it, and then the pre-market on was that Thursday? It broke out. I
see exactly what you mean here. This is what you're talking about. Look at this.
Yeah, and then it broke out, and then we in the pre-market on Friday, it caught the price at $6 or near $6 as support, and we rocketed higher. So I'd be looking at $6 as potential area of support for ONDS.
More NBIS calls, by the way, while we're having this discussion. There's some multiple sweeps across the wire here, NBIS. More puts getting bought here on Ondas. Looks like those were the 8 puts.
Gosh, $90 looks like a real big breakout level for NBIS.
GLMD, that broke away from the VWAP this time, breaking down. Let's see, PAX, that kept going, so that's still up here near 16. This was a really good move. If anyone caught PAX, Lombardo, I think you were on that one. Whoever was on PAX here today, you can get your register ring because that thing made a great move to the highs.
I just gotta, oops. Just gonna do that.
And also, Tuna and anyone else that I may have missed talking about making sure you sell or collect the gains that you had on any of these day trades. That was a really good call here today. Congrats. Thanks for mentioning that to the group. Let's see if we have an all access here today. I don't think so, but let me double check.
I think you might be right about that, Mo. It seems like there's a lot of weakness happening in the market right now, and we might see a lot more of these names come back in, and then later on in the day they just end up doing better. So let's see if that's the case. But I think you might be right. We might see some weakness continue here.
Let's see, Tesla, how are we doing there? Okay, so that traded up, didn't quite get to that 420, but it's dancing around here.
Looks like RPTX still trying to push higher into the 2s. Hasn't really
RPTX.
Yeah, it hasn't lost 2 since it captured it, so that's good to see. Want to see it take out 220 though. And not sure what else is looking good at the moment. I think, when it comes to, like you were just saying with the ONDS, let's just see if we can let it come down into the 6 area and give us an opportunity. DVLT is a big raise. Do people still think that that's a scam company? Do you think it's a scam company, Ryan?
Just judging by what was it, SCLNX or whatever ticker that was, judging by the deal of how those like share transfer thing worked, kind of feels like that. But I mean, we're talking about DVLT here. We're talking about this kind of being a theme, right? This still fits into the authentication, verification, and identification theme, does it not? Yeah.
Yeah, they might
monetize their blockchain. As it's of tokenization, data ownership, digital twins. Yeah, I don't.
It's tough, isn't it?
It is, because like, what was the deal with them giving a whole bunch of their shares to another company? Like, why do that? I mean, and is this? Yeah, something's wrong here. Let me see if I can report this here real quick. It might already be reported. Just give me a sec here. I have a different price here from the chart and the details too. I'm going to try and solve that.
Is Rocket Lab heading to its 200-day SMA? Let me see. It might. I wouldn't say it's not impossible. I mean, it's not great that it's fallen out of this site of this parallel channel that it's been in, since last year. But like I said, I still think this is a great company. It's a major competitor with SpaceX, especially when they get their Neutron rocket online. That's supposed to be having its maiden test flight early next year. That could be a news catalyst for it. But for the time being, losing this channel and not recapturing it could mean that it could come down to the 200. But I think it's already getting to be pretty oversold. So I don't know how much more downside there is. I won't say it's not impossible, but I'm just not sure if we're going to go all the way down there. It's still got like $7 to go before we reach that. I'll just say maybe. I will say maybe, but I do think it's going to be good later on. All right. What is looking good now? Boeing is short off the 10 moving average. I don't know. I don't use that moving average. Let me take a look at Boeing. I'll tell you what I think.
So that actually was a little bit higher. We had news on Boeing here. Ethiopian Airlines commits to order 11 Boeing 737 MAX airplanes, and Emirates orders 65 more Boeing 777X airplanes. Those are both pieces of news from this morning. Boeing lower on the back of that news.
This thing is also getting to be oversold too, but it doesn't look like it's quite finished. It looks like this could lose the 500-day SMA. That would be what that means is it looks like it could go under 190. Let me draw this. That's what I think is what we're looking at here with Boeing. Unless there's some positive news, not that the news that it had wasn't positive, but unless there's something that helps turn this around and take it back over 195, it looks like we're coming down to 190, maybe even potentially losing that. It just doesn't look great at the moment, Boeing. 13 Fubo levels. You got it.
And before 13, while you pull that up, before you actually give those levels out, taking a quick peek at Ondas here, looks like that 620 level that we just talked about, 620-ish, held so far. So for the first time, we're seeing what looks like a little bit of a bounce that lasts more than 30 seconds. We'll see if that continues here. But I'll tell you what, 620 looks okay so far. All right, you want me to bring up Fubo 13?
Sure. I would say Fubo 325, big support area. We did get support earlier this month on the 3rd at that area. And we haven't been back since. It helped recapture the 200-day SMA. That was previously a resistance area, and then we recaptured it. We've been using that as support. So I would like to see 325 continue to hold up. You do also have support down at $3 as well before you get down to the 500-day SMA. We are trading beneath the 200-day SMA right now, which we don't want to see. So if we get a recapture tomorrow, that'd be great. But if we start closing multiple times under the 200-day SMA, then I'd be worried about more downside to come. There's also a trend line that you can draw starting from the January 8th high. I'm sorry, is it the 8th or it's a January high? And you could draw it through the September high. And that's a trend line that we want to see broken if we do get that recapture of the 200-day SMA and go on to recapture the 20 and 50-day SMAs as well.
There you go. Added that to the chart. Kathy mentioning NUVL again. This is the biotech that Kathy mentioned earlier that was really moving. Looks like this is still holding higher here by 108. What was the news on this one again? Nuvalent. Okay.
CMBN.
Positive top line data from one of its clinical trials for patients with advanced ALK positive NSCLC. This is for non-small cell lung cancer. Wainwright went from 130 to 155, stocks 100. Strong phase 2 data and de-risked approval path. So this holding higher by 5.6%. This actually looks good on the back of that data.
Yeah, I was just throwing CMBM out there because that had a big move suddenly out of nowhere that took it through the 65 and basically all the EMAs that we look at, and it just got some resistance at the VWAP.
Okay.
You might have a different VWAP.
Nope, it went right 301 and it went right there.
Okay.
CMBM, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Looks dead on.
GNS, Genius Group, trying to turn around. This is a penny. Well, it's now a penny name because it lost $1 earlier. RPTX is also trying to push higher.
More iron calls getting bought here. These are the 70s.
IVVD. We're back up at the near the $3 level again. This is for the third time today. I would think that this might have to be where it has to break out, or we could lose VWAP. Volume hasn't been great. We would need to see that. We would see a sudden spike with that too to take us over 3. Large seller in the way at 3. More sellers in the way above 3. But this is. I think this is the spot that it has to go, or else we're going to lose VWAP. Micah's mentioning Medtronics, MDT, and then Jay Rice also mentioned Cisco.
CSCO. We talked about that kind of being the backbone of the AI infrastructure. I'm not surprised to see this do well.
This will be another one that's going to go up for probably a while because networking is going to be this is it's going to be huge for this company.
Indeed. ONC moving on Zyme and Jazz partnership. ONC.
SGBX recaptured VWAP. Volume's not great. I'm not sure how it's kind of a liquid tube. There's a lot of sellers up at the $3 above the $3 area. So not sure if it's what's that?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, so I'm just not sure if this is going to really have the strength to get above the 310 area where it's been getting rejected. Maybe
ASST, this is Strive, one of those digital asset treasuries. This big volume candle right there took it to the lows. There was over 5 million shares traded in a minute during that candle.
Now, real quick with MDT, they have their earnings tomorrow before the market opens. This has been on a big reversal run, rebounding off the 200-day SMA, recapturing some of the smaller time frame SMAs in the process. Looks like this is trying to go for 98. But whatever comes out of that earnings report is going to determine if this goes higher or lower. And it's not overbought yet. It is getting a little bit up there. But I like this company. I own this company. Owned it for a while. Want to have a medical device play. I think this is one of the better ones. Every time you hear "not sure," I think of Idiocracy. What a fantastic piece of art imitating life. SGBX still trying to push higher here.
UBT. How did Rigetti finish up? I feel like I haven't looked at that since around the open.
Rigetti's been bouncing around.
Okay, it can't really move higher though. It cannot really generate any strength here. Move higher. Here's ZYME. That can't get back above the VWAP either.
The plastic. Yep. We didn't. I don't think we covered that, Jonathan.
We have not looked at MicroStrategy here.
They apparently added 8,100 Bitcoin last week.
Anyone think that this whole Bitcoin thing is I feel like Thanksgiving is a major holiday for Bitcoin. I feel like Thanksgiving gives all of the Bitcoin haters a chance to tell their family members that believe in Bitcoin how crazy and dumb they are because Bitcoin likes to sell off around Thanksgiving. Once the Thanksgiving holiday moves past us, do we see a move higher in Bitcoin? And then thus MicroStrategy as well? Does anyone like MicroStrategy here under $200?
Let's take a look at what was going down last
Big B's doesn't. Big B says this is coming in more.
Yeah.
MicroStrategy.
I think you could be right. But to your point, let's just look at, wow, you know what? So last year we had very much the opposite price action from that we're getting today. You know, in November, even in October, this Bitcoin was already on a tear, and it just continued in November. This time around, we started selling in October, and we have been continuing to sell into November as well. So quite the opposite we're getting compared to last year.
Okay. Well, maybe not then.
Maybe not. Smoke's mentioning KXIN. Where is that? I thought I had that up here.
That's the penny stock, KXIN.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't have it.
Here it is, though. I did mention earlier when I talked about penny stocks, this one might be the one today. It really needed to break through, what, 55? Looks like it did that.
Yeah, it looks like if this continues, it could find some resistance somewhere between 75 and 80 cents.
Jay here, I agree with this. Bitcoin charts remind me of biotech names. Got to buy them when they look awful, which does make it harder, no doubt about it. But that also goes back to our buying weakness theme that we have been talking about, whether it's Bitcoin, small junkers, or better stocks alike. It's all the same. Michael Penix season-ending injury for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, your starter there. And then Bull. Someone mentioned Bull earlier. They report on Friday this week. Let me actually check that here real quick. Here's your earnings calendar again. Bull is, it's Thursday after hours. Beg your pardon. Here's a look on Webull. This is down in the 8s. Not pulling a hood anytime soon, it looks like.
No, this is absolutely horrible. It was the last area of support that you had was from the IPO low on April 11th. And we kind of consolidated around there. That was the last spot we had before we could for a reversal. Now I don't know where it's going to reverse. It's super oversold, so it could happen at any time. But at the same time, this could also go even lower. Maybe it turns around with earnings. I don't know.
I want to see Bull put in a really good firm bottom. Once it puts in once the chart really kind of looks like it's bottom, then we can talk about trading it, maybe even swinging it. But until that takes place, I think you're probably just gambling.
We're getting several different ticker mentions here. We got ANVS, CMCT.
Okay. ANVS, this was another good bio name. Could tell you what, Kathy's right about the theme. I just don't know how to predict where to go next. I don't know how to pull the Wayne Gretzky. Where do we skate to where the puck is going, Kath?
Yeah, ANVS, I'm not sure I like the way this looks right now. It looks like it's really starting to lose momentum and could turn over. So I think I'd be careful with ANVS. CMCT was another one that was mentioned. CMCT. This one's on a tear. Actually, this one broke over a trend line that I drew it anyway. Because this is one we've been looking at for, I think we were looking at last week. And we did get a move up on, what was this, the 12th? So that was, Tuesday? No, Wednesday. And it came back in. We got another pop on Friday. And now we're through this trend line. So we'll see if it can hold above the trend line. Meaning we want to see this hold above 12, I think. We want to see this hold above 12.
CYPH, that tried to move above its VWAP. Looks like that just lost it. That's not, tell you what, the volume's pretty big on that. It's not breaking down. So if it continues to not break down, maybe this is setting up for going higher. But I don't see a very clear day trade entry right now on CYPH.
Is the biotech, because I'm trying to see if I can identify a theme here with the biotechs. And is it because they have, some of these have a crypto treasury, and crypto could make a turnaround? I'm just trying to get an idea. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm just trying to get an idea of what the whole theme.
That's what I'm looking for too, 13. I'm looking for what reasons. Kathy's right. Well, this is happening, but how do we actually use that to place the next trade? That I haven't figured out yet, and I'm open to that.
And the whole reason, just to explain, the whole reason why I'm looking for a theme for this, because then we can find some of the other names that perhaps may have not gone yet.
Right.
or have not seen the movement that some of these other ones have, and we can get in on that action. So, and this is what we were doing for the space theme and the drone theme and everything else. We just started with a theme, and we looked at all the different ones in that theme, in that space, and we made a killing. So that's what we want to do with these biotechs. Now, maybe we're already a little bit late to that, but we also could be on time. I just want to know if we can identify the theme, because then I could get an idea of where to look next.
So CRISPR here, this is popping on news. You guys are saying that this is popping on a possible buyout?
Take care, Kevin.
Yeah, take care of yourself, Kev. Boy, we're almost out of time. We did have a great day here today.
So maybe that's it. Maybe it's even potential takeovers.
Like, well, we've already seen some takeover chatter in some of these names. CRISPR Therapeutics, an M&A blog, says the company has received a takeover approach from a U.S. listed biotech company. Amgen mentioned as a possible, mentioned as speculation, but none of this is confirmed. This is coming from the Squawk. Unconfirmed chat rooms circulation. That's what's going on here with CRISPR's 13. Smoke Tuna was saying sell the pops on this one. I would have for sure. This can't get over Friday's intraday high yet. And 13, just like that, we are out of time. Good Lord, we had a great day here today. 13, happy Victory Monday. Any closing words for the group?
Hey, happy Victory Monday to you and folks. We had some pretty good trades in there. We just, market's feeling a little bit weak, but that's okay, because tomorrow's going to be another day, and we'll have a whole new set of news, and we'll be able to identify movers. We'll find the good ones. We'll trade them. We'll make some money. It'll be a good day like today was. But until then, folks, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Congratulations on the pro subscription to our winner. Well, hopefully we can do some more of those.
He emailed me. I'm going to take care of that. So Excellent. Congrats. I'll make sure we can do some more. I promise.
Until then, folks, I'll see you later. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.
All right, 13, really good stuff here today. It went fast and furious here today, but that's what we do on Mondays, and particularly on Victory Mondays. Folks, Apex Trader next here. We're going to send you there right now. 13 and I will be back tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Monday. Stay green, stay safe, stay